history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. The best Giants talk in the Bay is on 95.7 The Game. Reaction to every pitch.
Miller throws. He got him with the fastball. Miller's pointing at all the Reds.
Every home run.
High drive. Left field. Out of here.
And every big play.
A little slow roller. Chapman. Barehand. Got it.
It's your fix for Giants baseball.
It is a dream come true, but it's a very recent dream.
The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap.
Line drive, base hit. Gilbert scores. Basabe scores. Jung-Hoo Lee coming through.
Hello there, and welcome into the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow. Oh, saying those two words together like that hits a little bit differently this morning. Courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area, that was Jung-Hoo Lee, a big 2-run base knock last night in the second inning. Giants beating the Detroit Tigers 5-2. Let's party like it's 2012, Dan. Giants over Tigers. That's always a fun thing to say because it makes me feel like it's 14 years ago. Oh, let's get wildly depressed over how much time has passed to start this show off. Good morning, everybody, on this fabulous Saturday, August 8th. And Dan, good morning. How you doing today?
How are you, buddy?
I am doing pretty good. Glad to have you over here. Hope the flight back west was good for you.
Not really, but it's always good to be, back east this time of the year. Like, you get inclement weather, obviously, during the winter months, but I'd much rather fly during the winter. When you fly from back east, I don't know if you're familiar with where you spend time.
From Miami to
this
California.
Time of the year, the thunder showers, it's so unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
So unpredictable. And so getting out of anywhere from D.C., Boston, Logan, Newark, JFK, all problematic. And so missed a connecting flight, spent a night in the Portland airport, and then caught a 5 a.m. flight.
PDX isn't a bad airport, though.
I don't know very well, aside from, their chairs have those little metal bars, which make it very uncomfortable if you're going to actually spend more than just a couple of minutes on it.
That makes sense.
You spend time in Portland?
Oh, yeah. No, one of my best friend and his wife lived up there for a little while. Yeah, my friends Kevin and Christine, they live out in the Sunset now, but yeah.
Sunset, Portland? Okay.
I mean, the weather's basically the same. Cloudy, and everyone just wears jackets all the time. So yeah, it's kind of like Portland South out there in the outer Sunset. So
yeah, good to be here. Busy week, huh? What do you think of the trade deadline?
Trade deadline was fun. Not as fun as it could be. You're making the best of a bad situation there. Giants made a lot of moves, made, 5 or 6 trades, sending several players out. Robbie Ray, gone. Luis Arias, right in the chest right there. Gone. Hated seeing that happen. Eric Miller, who you heard in our show open, he's gone. And so who are they? Tyler Malley, he's gone. And last one, of course, Elliot Ramos. He is in New York now. How when you were out in New York this last week, what were the early reactions to Elliot out there?
Where you left out Robbie Ray, who got tagged pretty good.
I thought I let off with Robbie Ray.
Did you say Robbie Ray? Sorry, my apologies.
He last night, Robbie Ray made his Padres debut, goes 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, gave up a home run to Cam Smith. He took on the Astros last night, and these are the numbers that stuck out to me, Dan, in terms of that's the Robbie Ray. 2 strikeouts, 5 walks.
A lot of control issues last night.
Yeah, Risotto texted me the other day, and he's going to have an opportunity to use these drops now, but he said he can't use his favorite Robbie Ray grunt drop anymore.
He still can.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I mean, Pasta, since when are there rules to your drops, man? You're the most random drop dude ever. Thank you.
The future. Yeah, so, it's the future. He is actually, Steve Risotto has very quietly risen up to, I think, the top of the power rankings in how he utilizes drops at this station. I mean, I don't know, is Grandy doing the board still in the afternoons, or do you push him aside every now and then?
It's Grandy, but when Grandy fills in, it's me.
Yeah, no, so whenever Grandy's in on Willard and Dibbs, make sure you tune in because he is so quick with the drops.
Star. He's like a bullet going right to the very top. See what happens, though, when you unlock this guy? It just turns into a mess. All right. Stop.
You had to show Grandy how to do that the other day, right? To do all the Greg Cosell laughs.
All the Greg Cosell laughs.
You love the Greg Cosell laughs. He is all about that. Are we going to have some laughs on the show today? I certainly hope so. So here's how I kind of want to do the show today, and hopefully we'll actually get it. There's so much we can talk about with this team, Dan, whether it's last night's game, which there were some interesting things that kind of happened in last night's game. Not like world-changing, but it was an interesting game last night. I do want to use this show, this first hour, to kind of put a bow on the Giants trade deadline. We kind of opened up with that, so we'll get to that in a little bit as well. And then in the back half of the show, starting around 10 o'clock, I want to go full nostalgia these last 2 hours of the show today.
That's a long time to go nostalgia.
Oh, but we got so much to talk about. We got, obviously, the big news that broke Thursday morning at 10:01, which I love it when big news breaks right after the morning roast ends. Mike Krukow is calling it a career, and you're going to see his last game will be September 27th against the Dodgers. Probably not going to be a whole lot of dry eyes in the house that day. That was one of those announcements that when you see it, you just like, even if you kind of had a feeling it was coming, it still kind of sucked to see. Or not sucked to see, but still, it's just like, another punch in the gut right there, another shot in the heart, because it's just the slow progression of time moving forward. And then today, also, the Giants are honoring not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 World Series heroes on their Wall of Fame. Pablo Sandoval, Joe Panik, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, and Buster Posey. So in the last hour of the show, I kind of want to talk about that. And again, just go down memory lane and kind of what we remember about those players.
Does Buster get publicly introduced today?
I believe, at 3 o'clock today is when the ceremony is going to happen.
Interesting.
Yes, that will be an interesting reception. I hope he gets a positive reception.
He will.
I hope today,
I'm
Giants fans.
So.
I know, and listen, and we can discuss at some point in the show.
Don't do it, Sam. Don't do it, though.
There's frustration with Buster, obviously. I really hope that for one day we can focus on Buster Posey, the player, not Buster Posey, everything he's done since taking over as president of baseball operations. If that's something you don't want to separate today for various reasons, I'm not going to shake a stick at you and say shame on you for doing so. I'm simply going to say I hope we can do it in a certain way today, but we'll see. We'll see where things go.
What I say to fans, do you?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever
the hell it is.
I'm not trying to sit up here on my high horse up here above the, on the 10th floor of our building and tell everyone how to fan. That's not what I'm trying to do. I am giving my hopes. And then what you do after that is what you do after that. If you're in your radio right now saying, shut up, Sam, you don't know squat, I'm really happy that you're listening. And you're well within your right to say that. 888-957-9570. Someone calls in and says, shut up, Sam, you don't know squat. That'll be a great drop for Steven Risotto to get.
I'm always reminded that the word fan is an acronym of the word fanatic.
I hate that phrase.
I know, but when you think about fanatics, you're not talking about logical people who are sitting here and rationalizing it. If they feel someone should get booed, like Pajemski, for whatever goddamn reason, do it. And I think it's like one of the last rights that they have. And I would never, I don't mess with it, man. It doesn't make sense sometimes.
No, it's
hell, go to Philadelphia. They boo Santa Claus. They booed a dude who fell off the second deck out at the old vet. And there was a huge hush. He was drunk, fell off the second deck in Philadelphia, landed on the pavement. And there was a huge hush. He got up and walked away and they booed. I mean,
classic.
So I'm not saying be Philadelphia, but look, sometimes it doesn't make sense to us, but do you at the end of the day.
Again, it's a frustrating time for Giants fans, so do you. I made my request. You don't have to listen to it. So getting into last night's game a little bit, Dan, I thought we can go through the entire season without getting one of these. You know, it's a very triggering word for Giants fans going back to the Farhan Kapler days, especially that 2023 season.
Where are you going to go?
I'm going to say the dreaded O word.
Yeah.
Giants used an opener last night.
But they've been pretty successful with their openers.
I know, but that's kind of the ironic part. The openers have not been awful for the Giants, even in 2023 when it was either John Bradby or Ryan Walker who opened. Like, it wasn't awful, but there is just something about just the act of doing an opener that kind of, I think, pisses fans off. And listen, this season has gone so far off the rails that, you know, why not? Let's just do it. JT Brubaker got the start last night, gave up the run in the first inning. Adrian Hauser comes in, goes
Hauser
5 innings. Hauser was solid last night. You know, so I don't know if he wants to get back in the rotation. He made that very clear in postgame yesterday. I don't know at what point in the rest of the way Tony pulls that trigger, but you know, it was a solid outing for Hauser last night.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. I think what we're looking at right now is sort of an extension of spring training, tryouts. It's just, let's take a look at some of these kids. Let's take a look at everybody as they're all vying for spots, and let's see what we have. Also, now that, of course, all the suspense is ended with the trade deadline, we know that Arise is out the door. Robbie Ray got traded. The big three are still here. Elliot Ramos was indeed traded, which I do want to talk about because that doesn't make sense to me. Although I'm open-minded, I would love for you to explain to me why Elliot Ramos was traded. And I'm not taking a side here. I'm just sort of, I need someone to lay it out for me because on the surface, it doesn't make sense. But now as we sit here and we do these sort of shows, like, okay, as you love to do, what are we going to tease, Dan? How's this? Now that sort of all of that now has, the dust has settled, I think the next thing going forward is, what do you do with Tony Vitello? Does Tony Vitello come back? Now, I think you know where I stand. I'm more on the side of I think he's got to go, but I'm willing to keep an open mind. If you want to convince me that Tony Vitello should stick around, I'm willing to listen to you because I think you're much more on his side as far as bringing him back. But I think that going forward, that's the one thing that I think still is hanging out there that provides some level of suspense going forward for the Giants.
Yeah, and I think some of the things you're going to look at the rest of the year, and we'll hear from all sorts of people within the Giants organization about the deadline in just a moment. We're going to hear from Buster, who didn't want to call it a rebuild. We're going to hear from Zach Manasian in just a minute. He'll probably answer your Elliot Ramos question as well. We'll hear from Dave Fleming on the deadline as well in just a moment. But when it comes to Tony Vitello, obviously wins and losses are not part of the equation anymore. If you win, that's awesome, cool. If you lose, like, what are you going to do about it? This is what we're at. I think, and this is what you're looking for the rest of the year, because you're going to see a lot of guys get opportunities. And you're going to see guys get opportunities in games that don't mean squat. What I'm looking for from Tony the rest of the year is, can you get these guys to play with what he calls a high competitive effort? Go out there, play balls to the wall. I don't care if it's a 0-0 game. I don't care if you're up 8-0. I don't care if you're down 8-0. I don't care if you're tied 4-4. Every at-bat that you're in the batter's box, you're going 110%. Every play in the field, you're going 110%. You're running hard down the line to try and beat out these ground balls. Dan, I think it was today's Saturday, right? So Tuesday night, Giants are down 4-2 going in that ninth inning. Drew Gilbert, your guy, Cuckoo Gilbert, hits that base hit to right field there to start the rally. And then Grant McCray draws one of the better walks I've seen him draw this year. And then Bryce Eldridge comes up, gets that base knocked to right field. Three of your more or less rookie players, I know Gilbert came up last year, Grant, we've seen flashes. engineered a 2-run rally in the 9th inning against Steven Latz, is Steven Latz or Jacob Latz? It doesn't matter. Against the Rangers closer Latz, who's an all-star this year, really, really good reliever. Like, those are the kind of moments you're going to be looking for the rest of the year to gauge success. If you can get these young guys to be coming through and putting those effort rallies together, that I do think is a positive reflection on Tony Vitello.
Yeah, and I think you're getting what it is that you've wanted all along. It's a young team, right? Yep. Isn't this what he's supposed to be best at, right? Like, he's got a bunch of kids now that are impressionable, and he's dad, so it's very similar to what it is he was doing at Tennessee. In fact, he's got not a lot, but he's got some ex-Vols on the squad now, so if this is where he lives, if he's in his kitchen, then let's see. Again, I'm willing to keep an open mind. If he can make some sort of an impression from this point forward, working with the kids. But the thing you have to keep in mind, you can't hang your hat on, he's really good with young players, because that's just saying, well, then you should be in the minors, because every team in the major league is going to have a veteran, or you would hope it's going to have some players that are in their late 20s or early 30s if you're going to be a good baseball team. Yeah. So you can't be a manager and say, well, no, this team's too old. He's just good with the young players. Well, nobody has exclusively young baseball players. But let's just see. The majority of the players now are sort of in that age range where he's supposed to have that sort of effect on these guys. And if it's something that's impactful that we can all notice, then maybe that could, sway sort of the public sentiment as far as Tony Vitello going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned the young players there. And again, there's going to be, still got Rafi there, still got Willie there. And, there's all sorts of questions on what his relationship is like with those two players. You hear one thing, but then the actions, it seems, that sometimes show another. We also got other complications. Willie Adames is dealing with a back issue right now that's bad enough to hinder his play, but not so bad that they're putting him on the injured list. So he's kind of in this weird gray area of, not hurt enough to be IL, but still not hurt enough, but too hurt to contribute fully, though he did have that moonshot home run last night, his 19th of the year. So like seeing that. Rafi Devers also 24 home runs now after the 2-run bomb he had last night. That was a no-doubter. And he's going to get that 30 home run mark, Dan. Hopefully, as I knock on the non-wooden table that is in front of me here.
Is this for Micah?
I don't know what this table is. Yeah, 888-957-9570. What's our table made out of? I guess also 888-957-9570 is, what do you look for from Tony Vitello the rest of the year? Can he find his voice? And again, we'll see just kind of how these younger players coalesce and perform around him.
I wanted to talk about Willie Adames because the last time we did a show, you pointed out how there were stories about him not working hard or getting to games early.
Yeah, that came out last Friday night on the Apple TV broadcast that he has not been working with Ron Washington, I guess, as much as other guys.
And I was reading Susan Slessor, and I heard her in a podcast, and she was speaking on behalf and essentially defending Willie Adames and saying nothing could be further from the truth. Now, I don't know who to believe here, but she said Willie Adames really took offense to that, and that Willie Adames is because of his back, but he works as hard as anybody. Again, you're intimately closer to the team, and you're there before games. I am not, but he apparently took offense to that, and Susan Slessor was one of the first to say that there's not a lot of validity to that. Maybe it doesn't work with Ron Washington, but certainly putting in the work and is one of those guys, much like that of Elliot Ramos, who's no longer with the team, does not have the reputation of being somebody that's mailing it in.
Yeah, so really quick, we had Dave Fleming on earlier this week. Here's what he had to say about the Adames back issue.
I do believe that it's still an issue for him. It was definitely an issue, around the All-Star break before, especially, those few weeks before. You could really see it. Like, he was wincing on swings. He was having a hard time getting loose. Like, it was definitely an issue. It's not to that level, but I don't think there's any doubt that right now he is not 100%.
And I will concur with that. I've seen Willie Adames with the back race. I mean, you saw him in the game last night, Danny. He hits that home run. He's back in the dugout. And the NBC broadcast, what they've always done is when you hit a home run in an inning, they love panning to you in the dugout and be like, hey, look, this guy hit a home run. Be happy.
It's called a cutaway in the industry.
Okay, there you go. We're all learning new things today. So they do a cutaway to Willie Adames in the dugout, and he's standing literally minutes after touching home plate for his home run. He's got the back brace around his waist or his lower back area. So it is a thing that is bothering him. That I do believe. I do believe the back is a problem. As someone who is over 30 years old, I understand what a back problem is like.
They're so old.
It lingers. It doesn't go away.
You got back issues already?
Oh, absolutely.
From what?
Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lower back?
Yeah. My lower back, sometimes on the shoulder too.
Oh, I'll give you some exercises to stretch that out, or do you stretch at all?
I do some stretches, but I'm always down to get some more. So yeah, we'll wrap during the break about that. But, and I don't know when the back issue became an issue for Adames. That being said, though, going back towards the beginning of the season, again, I want to preface this by saying that there are gaps in what I see. I am only at the weekend games. I don't see what happens during weekdays. I don't see what happens on the road. I'm going based off what I am seeing here and acknowledging that there are gaps. Even at the beginning of the year, I only ever so often did see Willie working with Ron. So, again, it could be one of those things where both things are true. Maybe he's not putting in the work with Ron Washington to, maybe Ron Washington's liking, maybe. But also, like, the back is an issue with him. And so when it's one of those situations when both things are true, that's where I think you kind of get this push and pull of what's really kind of going on here.
Yeah, it just seems counter to his personality for a guy that wants to be the leader, is as affable as he is, and you only become popular if you're somebody that's going to lead by example and works hard. So, again, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. When you talk about injuries, we can't leave Chapman out of the equation. It looks as though he's going to get shut down.
That's more or less done for the year, I think. Yeah. And again, in a season that's going nowhere.
Going under the knife for the abductor.
Yeah. And I saw him last Sunday getting some baseball work in. He was doing some light jogging. He was taking ground balls at third base. And he looked good. The ground balls he was taking at third, he looked good. But I guess it's the running that's been the issue for him. And so, again, in a season that's going nowhere, it just makes sense. And that's also when I look at Willie Adames. And it's like, Dan, like when it comes to like playing hurt, playing injured, at this point in the year, everyone's banged up to some degree. Bryce Eldridge is dealing with a thumb issue right now. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. Going through a 162-game grind, your body's going to start to get bumps and bruises. There's a difference between playing hurt and playing injured. And there's also a point where if you're hurt and it's hindering your play, like, why are you out there? I'm not saying Willie is there yet, but if the back issue is that big of an issue, there does come the question of, well, maybe you need to take that 10-day IL stint just to kind of get right a little bit, because playing through the back injury it's not doing you any service right now.
Well, it's not doing anything for the team.
Yeah, and again, like, he had a good game last night. He had one pretty good defensive play at short. He started a 6-4-3 there. So Willie had some good moments. Like, Willie had a good game last night. You're going to have good nights.
He had a Willie game last night.
Yeah, it is.
He hit a bomb, but then he strikes out as everybody just throws that slider away. It's like,
you bring up that strikeout he had against the slider low and away against 0-2, and I'm thinking, we all know what's coming here. And you see him lunge for that low slider, and it's just like, that's not going to be good for your back, dude. Yeah. But he actually had, I thought, one of his best challenges of the year last night. His last at bat, there was a pitch. What was it? Upper outside corner.
Oh yeah.
Probably less than a 0.0. It's on the broadcast 0.1 inch off the zone, but it was 0.0001 inch off the zone. That was as close as you could come to a ball without it being a strike. And it was a great challenge by him. It's like, all right, nice. Like, it prevented the strikeout.
Mm-hmm.
And he, next pitch, fastball up, swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's become really sort of feast or famine. He's just like a dude who swings from his heels. He's either launching or he's striking out. He's sort of like Dave Kingman.
Something that Shasky's brought up. Willie's probably going to set the Giants single-season strikeout record. He's approaching it. Bobby Bonds owns it right now.
Oh, is that right?
I believe it's 187, I believe, off the top of my head.
Wow.
And Willie's fast approaching that mark. As if he doesn't get it, by the time his time in San Francisco is over, I feel like he's going to be the single-season leader for strikeouts.
Yeah, and he's just, I don't know. I don't want to break this down like a hitting coach, but you would think that there's got to be some discipline. If everybody's going to run you away, just think about going that way. So I know it's easier said than done.
I know. We had Brett Boone on a month or so ago.
I know Boone's a bozo, but
Brett Boone. He's a friend of the roast.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Well, I guess you got plenty of time to cover him up in Seattle, right? Yeah. So is that a lovingly bozo?
I had to ask him about steroids back in the day. And
I'm sure he loved that question. Well, no, he never got connected to it. So he's
sure he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess everyone in that time was connected to it. So, but I remember asking him about this. It's just like, Brett, like, why is that slow and away slider so difficult to lay off of? And basically, it was just like, kind of like you said, it's so much easier said than done to just not swing at that pitch. But the way those sliders move, and just watch, I mean, it starts up and then just cuts away. And this is all happening less than 1 second. You know, you have 0.8 seconds or whatever from hand to glove to decide where that pitch is going, how fast it's going, where it's going to move. Like, it is so easy for us, as you said, Dan, for us to sit here and be like, don't swing at that low pitch. But it's so much harder when you're in the batter's box in the moment with 40,000 plus eyes there and abroad staring at you.
No doubt. But I think that if you're going to get a steady diet of that, if clearly the book is out on him,
you got to adjust.
He's got to recognize, right? That's the difference between being a good, average, or better than average baseball player or hitter at the major league levels, being able to pick that up, pick up spin, pick up release when it's coming out of the hand, and being able to go oppo, man. But he just looks like he has no interest. Bryce Eldridge is already, like, I would say his strength is going oppo gap. Like, he loves to hit away. So
Bryce Eldridge.
Here's the thing with Bryce F. and Eldridge here.
Bryce.
I got an Evan Giddings story for you.
Oh, we'll get in that in a moment. But really quick on Bryce, he's hitting 218 since the start of July 1st, hitting 218. That's, let me check numbers here, carry the one. Not a good number. But in that same time, though, Dan, he's got an on-base percentage of 317, which, isn't a world-breaking on-base percentage, but it's still pretty good. He's striking out a lot. But he's also drawing a fair number of walks. The 16 walks that he's drawn in that time are second on the team behind one Rafael Devers.
And I believe last night,
he drew a great walk last night. And I believe he's got some ridiculous 55 of his last 60 games or something like that. He's reached base via a hit or a walk. And for a rookie 21-year-old 6'7" guy who's still trying to find his way in the big leagues right now, he's dealing with his first bumps and bruises at the big league level. I'll take that. He's finding ways to have positive at-bats. Really quick, what do you think about him in the leadoff spot?
Well, I like it because I want to see him get as many at-bats as possible. It's sort of like Shohei, right? That's sort of the way baseball is being played these days. Really quick, before we move on hitting. So I think I told this to you before that Tony Gwynn, when he would come to town and I was in Seattle, we struck some weird, it wasn't even a friendship, but he would sit and he would talk. He knew I enjoyed it, so he would sometimes, he wasn't on camera, but he would talk baseball and baseball hitting. And he would just say, Dan, it's not that hard if you put in the time. For him, obviously, he might be the greatest hitter of all time.
It's like Barry Bonds saying,
exactly,
Dan, it's not that hard to hit a home run.
Right, that's why he was such a good hitting coach with the Florida Marlins.
Yeah, just hit a home run. I don't get it.
So he would say, if you just put in that dude watched more video before video was even popular. He said he studied and studied and studied, especially opposing pitchers. He's like, you can pick this stuff up. He says, guys will tip what it is that they're doing. You just want to, you have to put in the time and be a student. And it's not as challenging as a lot of people think it is. Now, obviously, hitting a baseball is one of the most difficult things to do, that and a golf ball. But he was so believable that, you can break habits if you're willing to put in the time and do the work. And I remember asking him a follow-up. I said, do you just think that today's baseball players are lazy? And he said, you said that, not me.
Again, I don't know what the commitment level is from guys to grind that film. I mean, that's a lot of film you got to be able to grind. And right here in our YouTube chat, Mickey D, saying he hasn't adjusted by now. He's just not going to. And I do think it is kind of a risk with some players. They just get so into who they are. They think, I'm going to win that. I'm going to win my way. And that's tough to break, especially the way Willy Adames has played netted him $180 million contract.
It's a scary thing to do because if he starts concentrating going the other way, then he's going to say, oh my God, now I've lost my ability to pull. And you get into this weird zone where he's completely discombobulated. So I get it because a lot of it's muscle memory and a lot of it's familiarity of doing, habits that you're familiar with. So
yeah. And all the while he's doing it with, a bad back, which doesn't make things any easier. Look, I know and we're going to play a lot of sound on the other side. A lot of fans wanted him or Rafi or Chapman dealt at the trade deadline. Roster-wise,
Let's get grades on the trade deadline when we come back.
Yeah, we can do that. It was never going to happen. I don't think you're trading Willie at any point. The only course of action right now, and Giants fans are not going to like this, just got to hope the guy figures it out. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's going to be a Giant for a while. The best thing that could possibly happen is he finds a way to get the back right, finds a way to improve the plate, finds a way to just keep improving as a baseball player throughout his tenure as a Giant shortstop because he's not going anywhere, and so it's just hopefully he can get better to a point to where fans aren't frustrated with him anymore. You want to know why Elliot Ramos got traded? Zach Manassian will answer that question on the other side. Buster Posey will explain why he doesn't want to call us a rebuild. We're going to hear from a lot of stuff. We'll talk trade deadline. 888-957-9570. Giants fans, I want to get nostalgic today too. Mike Krukow. When I say Mike Krukow, you say what? And also, got 5 World Series legends going on to the Giants Wall of Fame today. Pablo Sandoval, Joe Panik, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, Buster Posey. Like, I know we got memories of these guys. I got so many memories of these guys. I want to hear some of your memories out there, Giants fans. So again, 888-957-9570. Really want to hear from you guys today, so call in. And all that brought to you by Fairmont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibbs for Safeway. Enjoy these amazing deals for members. And as always, save up to 20% weekly on hundreds of exclusive offers from Safeway. Just clip the highlighted deals from the weekly mailer or click the deals in the For You section of the Safeway app to breeze through checkout. Get ready to grill some tasty USDA choice boneless beef tri-tip roast untrimmed twin packs for $6.99 per pound when you clip or click the coupon. Limit 2 packages. And before we eat that, I'm thinking maybe some charcuterie.
Yeah, take a picture and say cheese, because you can enjoy Sargento shredded or sliced cheese, 5 to 8 ounce selected varieties for $1.99 each when you clip or click the coupon. Limit 4 items, juicy 1 pound packages of strawberries, 1 pint packages of blueberries, or 6 ounce packages of raspberries or blackberries for just $2.99 each.
Safeway makes it easy for you to save money on the items you already buy. Go to Safeway.com for more details, and we'll see you in the aisles.
Think you've got baseball figured out? Put your predictions to work on Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market and official partner of Major League Baseball. Trade on who's winning the division, or taking home the Cy Young or MVP, and who wins it all in October. As every game changes the season, the markets move too, creating new opportunities to trade. You're trading against other fans, not the house. Download the Polymarket app today and use promo code BLAZE to unlock $20 free for your first trade. That's promo code BLAZE.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
I think we should have an open relationship.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Let's definitely do that.
With our cars.
Oh, FlexCar. Yeah, that's what I meant too.
FlexCar is the first and only month-to-month car lease. Swing from a Wrangler 1 month to a Prius the next. FlexCar. You drive everything.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Don't miss comedian Joe Coy on his Coy Meets World Tour at Oakland Arena on November 13th. Buy your tickets at joecoy.com for your chance to win your way into the show courtesy of Icon Live. Visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
Now back to the best Giants talk in the Bay. The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
All right, let's light it up. Talking some Giants baseball in the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lum alongside Dan Devone here, and putting a bow on the trade deadline here, 888-957-9570. Your final thoughts on the Giants trade deadline, how they came out, how they fared. Would you grade it? Was it good? Was it bad? But, Dan, I got a question for you. What is you think more likely? To bump into Elliot Ramos with his shirt unbuttoned in Central Park, or bumping into one Evan Giddings in Central Park?
That was the most bizarre thing in the world. As I was trying to tell everybody, that does not happen in Manhattan.
There's 6 million people on that island?
6 million people. I gave you the example about a buddy from college who lives literally 2 blocks away, and we've seen each other once in 7 years. And that was at a Whole Foods. Evan not only was in Manhattan, and we ran into each other walking. I was going down Central Park West, and he was coming up Central Park West. He was going to the Natural Museum of History, but he was just there for the afternoon. Not even there for the weekend, wasn't living there.
Not even the day, just half the day.
Just half the day, and we saw each other on the same block. And also, if you know anything about Central Park West, nobody walks down Central Park West, and I hear, "Hey, Devone." I'm like, I grabbed him by the shoulders like, are you kidding me? It was absolutely real. Yeah.
What I'm curious
what did you just do?
The statistical odds of that happening. I mean, I live in Oakland. There's people I don't want to run into, and luckily I don't run into them. And Oakland's a fraction of the size of Manhattan.
Yeah, it was absolutely bizarre. One of the strangest things that's ever happened to me, man. Like, Evan, what the hell are you doing here?
And he's not high right now.
He was that's what I thought, because he was just typical Ev. Like, I'm an emotional Hawaiian Italian. Come on,
look at this guy.
What the hell are you doing here? And he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? It's me.
Just chilling in Central Park before going to the Natural History Museum. That might be the most Evan Giddings part of the story. He was on his way to the Natural History Museum.
Well, I think he was meeting his family. I think they were all headed to Connecticut that afternoon for a big wedding or something like that.
You can take a kid out of Brooklyn, but you can't.
Yeah.
What's this?
Jeez, how many Evan drops do we have?
That's a freaking joke.
Do I just need to say more crazy? Because I was looking at Steven's board yesterday, and I have 2 or 3 drops on his board.
But you have
that's one of them.
I'm 600 miles away, and you still find a way to interrupt me.
That was the one that one day he played out of nowhere, and I lost it.
Which one, the screaming one?
No, the one after that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 600 miles away, and you still find a way to interrupt me.
Yeah, that was shout out Joe Shasky for setting up that one.
Pasta, seriously, put your hands in your hands away from the board.
No, I need to say more crazy dumb stuff apparently, so I can get more drops on there. That's my takeaway from this. I mean, Evan's saying all this droppable stuff.
I showed Sam this one the other day, but my favorite Sam Lubman drop on my board is when he was in spring training and he called into the roast and he was giving a report about spring training on the roast, and there was a little interruption.
We kind of know where that direction's headed, but it seemed to have popped up pretty suddenly.
Are you at the Phoenix Skyway? Where are you?
I swear to God, so this was that Friday morning. I decided to go outside because it was really nice out in Arizona in spring training, or in Scottsdale, and so I'm doing my dialing in to join the Joes on the roast. Dan, I swear to God, I was there the entire week. I don't think a single plane flew over my hotel at all, that entire week. And then Friday morning, literally every single plane in the state of Arizona had to fly over me during that 10 minutes that I spent on with those two on the show. And so it was just literally every single question and was an answer that sounded exactly like that.
Oh, that's funny. That was funny stuff.
Anyway, so case in point, I gotta say,
someone explain Elliot Ramos. I mean, what did Manassian say?
Here's what Manassian said, and basically my takeaway was I need to say more dumb stuff. Zach Manassian, why did you trade Elliot Ramos?
Definitely trading players you have control of, who are homegrown, drafted, and developed by the organization. They're always difficult decisions. I think with Elliot in particular, to get the 2 talents we got back, it felt like something we didn't want to pass up. And then also we feel like we're starting to build some better depth in our outfield throughout our system. So I think names we'll start hearing more and more about. Scott Bandura, Parks Harbor's played some outfield, Bo Davidson, Dakota Jordan, Trevor Cohen. Obviously, we've seen a bit of Jonah Cox up here, Victor Barracoto, Drew Gilbert. So started to feel like we were building some depth there to the point where if there was something that came across the table we really liked, that we would have to consider it, especially when we're talking about the players that we got. So Henry Lalonde, upside left-handed starter, mid-90s fastball, really good changeup, strikes, an arm you can dream on a bit. And then Caden Kent, someone that we had our eye on in the draft, plays on the dirt, middle infield, very high baseball IQ, which wouldn't be a surprise. So the two players that we were able to get was really enticing. And then we felt like, there's some players that are going to be deserving of opportunity here soon.
So again, long story short, the outfield depth enabled them to kind of part with a what's the term I'm looking for? They kind of have an abundance in outfielders right now, so they're dealing from a position of strength. Like if you ever play fantasy football and you got one good running back, but you got 5 really good receivers, so you trade one of your receivers to get a running back. It's kind of one of those deals there in terms of moving off of Ramos.
I didn't like the trade. I didn't like his answer, and I swear that's the first time I heard it. It just wasn't. Maybe it'll work out. That wasn't sufficient to me.
Yeah,
because
what wasn't sufficient for you?
Because Barracoda, Cox, even Parks Harbor. You're mentioning a bunch of guys who are. If there was somebody like that of a Casey Schmidt, which made arise as much as you didn't want to lose him. That you could slide him in, right? So that he becomes, somewhat liable.
But going from Luis Arias, sorry to interrupt, going from Luis Arias to Casey Schmidt, that makes sense because you have a guy you can identify at the big league level right away, whereas...
If there was somebody at the minor league level, if there was a prospect, if there was a Bryce Eldridge, that's the next.
I see what you're at.
But all those guys he mentioned, maybe they could be as good as Elliot Ramos.
Yeah, it's the mystery box from Family Guy. The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a new outfielder. You know how much we've always wanted one of those. So we'll take the box.
I don't understand it. So you're hoping that maybe Parks Harbor can be as good as Elliot Ramos and have as many as young and give you as many years of team control. The idea that he was tradable or he was mentioned in the same breath as Robbie Ray and company, because now who's going to play left field? You just lost your left field. And I know the prospects they got. This guy, Henry
Lalonde. I've heard Lalane. I've heard Lalonde. Henry.
I mean, he's 6'7". He's a left-hander. He's an A-ball. I mean, yeah, God bless him. Hopefully he's that guy. But a lot of their pitchers in A-ball, Sam, you're talking 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
On a fast track. So, I don't know, this idea that you're getting prospects for a proven all-star, major league all-star left fielder. Granted,
he's 22 actually, Henry Lalane.
Defensively, he was, not very good, but getting better and clearly was putting in the work. And the thing about Elliot Ramos is that you have to take his age in consideration, that this isn't the finished project, that this is still, he's on a trajectory. We'll find out who he is in a couple of years. And he could be maybe not a standout defender, but a good one. And the idea that this guy, who was an all-star a couple of years ago, a guy that can do damage from the right side of the plate, clearly somebody that's being coveted in Major League Baseball. It's one of the reasons why they got rid of him, one of the reasons why the New York Yankees jumped on him in a heartbeat. For a team like that of the San Francisco Giants that struggles at times to make contact and have guys who do damage that is that young under team control, that I never understood, first of all, why you wanted to trade him. And now hearing the answer by Manassian, I'm still befuddled.
I think with Ramos, part of it was there was a lot to like in his game. He definitely had the power. He definitely had the pop. He definitely had the athleticism. But there were flaws in his game as well. I think there's a lot of boom and bust in his game. The defense is definitely an adventure there. I do think he's more of a DH type player. I don't know if he's a guy you can put out in the field every day. I mean, he can maybe get better at it, but I do think there is a risk that the Giants did not trade him at the peak of his value. I think he'll hit well in that ballpark in the Bronx, just by the fact that he's not at Oracle Park, a park that, last night, it can kind of stymie power a little bit. We saw some fly balls last night. I think Grant McCray had one that he cranked out to center field that died at, right in front of the 391 marker. On a warmer day, that ball might go out. That's just the reality of hitting in Oracle Park. And so I do think Ramos's numbers will be boosted a little bit just by not having a hit here. But to the point, though, Dan, is just Ramos was a solid player. He was a good player. I don't know how many more all-star seasons he has left in him. I would not be shocked if that was the only all-star season he had. It's just, I don't think it's going to take a lot for one of Bo Davidson, one of Dakota Jordan, one of Parks Harbor. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot for one of those guys to develop enough to where they can match the production that we were seeing from Elliot Ramos.
That's a big leap. I hope you're right, but I think that's sort of what it is at the San Francisco Giants. And a lot of teams have a tendency to do this, is fall in love with prospects. And you know this as well as I do. Prospects, like 85% of them, I was reading somewhere like 80 to 90%.
They're lottery tickets.
They get to the major leagues, right? They're going to get their opportunity. They're going to get their cup of coffee. But then it drops down to about 50% that actually become everyday major leaguers. And then you get into the teens, those that become all-stars. So just this idea that Parks Harbor or Cox or all these guys that he just threw out there are going to be as good as Ramos, if not better. I don't know, man. That's taken a leap of faith. You mentioned a bunch of guys, but I don't know of any one of them that he singled out as being the heir apparent. And so when you have 4 or 5 guys that you're mentioning, I think that maybe you might be guilty of taking what it is that Elliot Ramos has done during his tenure with the San Francisco Giants for granted a little bit. And I also would emphasize that you have to keep in mind how young he is. So to say that he is who he is and he may have had his best year, I mean, I would say that if he's a little older, if he was in his 30s or late 20s, but he has his entire future, and this guy wants to put in the work. This is a guy who works hard. Don't mistake him for a Rafi Devers or sort of the accusations that we were throwing at Willie Adames last week. This is a guy that puts in the work, and he's under team control. He's young, he can hit, and he's a good team guy, and you rushed him out the door because you got, 4 or 5 guys who might be just as good.
Well, I think it's also that, but I also do think getting the prospects, Lane, Caden Kent, they do need to beef up their pitching a lot more. They need more young starting pitching, Dan, and unfortunately, they had to go through a position where they had depth in order to do it.
So who's your left fielder going forward, I guess is my question.
I mean, that's what these last few weeks are going to be about trying to figure out. And that's kind of the low-key crappy part of this whole Elliot Ramos trade, though, Dan, is once again, for the first time since 2025, Giants going to be looking for a new left fielder. The curse is back on. We had 2 years of Ramos and left. And now we're right back to where we started in terms of trying to find that everyday left fielder. Look, maybe it is Casey Schmidt. I thought he was passable out there in left field. Hopefully at some point.
You can't go after Elliot Ramos' defense and say, well, Casey Schmidt's going to play left field now. Because as bad as Elliot Ramos was, I'd say he's better than that of Casey Schmidt.
I thought it was more of a lateral move, if anything, defensively between those two. That's just my opinion there. But, hopefully at some point we will see Dakota Jordan or Bo Davidson matriculate their way up to the big leagues. We're going to see a lot of Grant McCray and Drew Gilbert the rest of the way. Jonah Cox will be back in the mix at some point. We will see more Barracuda. I mean, that's kind of the situation the Giants are in right now is they just need to see what they got. They need as many of these lottery tickets as they can. They need as many prospects as they can because prospects have multiple values. They can be a value to your team in terms of they play well, they get called up, they become good baseball players, they help you win games, and everybody's happy. There's also a very realistic chance that Henry Lane, Caden Kent, and all these other guys, they're eventually going to be used to acquire real talent in the future. And the thing is, you need to have a strong farm system to have a strong future. Whether or not those players in your farm system are going to develop into good baseball players or develop into good trade chips, the more of them you have, the better off you're going to be. And if Elliot Ramos can be swapped into 2 players that can help you out for the future, because Elliot Ramos is a guy, again, he's at 26 years old. He's still got team control, yes. He's a guy who can help you now. The Giants need guys who can help you later right now. That's just the reality of their situation.
Yeah,
I think it's biting the bullet on that and accepting that reality.
But trading a proven product on this baseball team.
Is he that proven, though?
Is a risky product. He can hit. He can hit Major League pitching.
I think he's a solid hitter. I don't know. I just don't know if he's a consistent all-star type hitter.
Well, maybe he's not a consistent all-star type player, but he's a lot better than the 5 coconuts that they're they mentioned as potential.
We don't really know that, though. That's the reality.
Well, that's just it. What do they always say about football? If you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. So the idea that he's got to mention 5 different guys. When it came to first base, it's Bryce Eldridge. When it came to second base, it's Casey Schmidt. When it comes to some of these middle infielders, there's 2 guys that they have their eye on, right? They're like, that's the future. When you're mentioning 4 or 5 guys, Cox could play, or Barracuda, or hey, this Parks Harbor sitting in the baseball. Really, I mean, Elliot Ramos, say what you will, but he's established left fielder who can do some damage. And I just didn't see, if you're going to trade him, I think you need a little bit more substance in return.
That's a fair point. And again, we'll see what Lane and Caden Kent are able to pull off there as they try to
what grade
make their way.
If you were to give a grade,
I can't give him an A. I can't give him an A because you weren't able to move one of your big 3 deals.
Agreed.
And I'll be the first to say, and I was trying to explain this to Shasky, you were not going to move one of those big 3. It's just not going to happen, and you can go back in the past and try and find big contracts that were moved. And, I threw this out to Joe's, can you guys even think of a time where a contract of that magnitude of Chapman, Adames, or Devers was moved in a trade in season or at the deadline? And their first answer was, Rafi Devers last year. It's like, well, okay, I don't think that really helps your case all that much. How's that deal working out for the team that got him? They're trying to turn around and move him right now. And, this goes to a conversation I had with a couple of beat writers in the Giants dugout earlier this year where I was making the case that you got to move one of those 3, and they kind of dropped this unfun reality that teams don't like taking on those kind of contracts midseason. They don't. And what the Giants are doing right now with Rafi Devers, that is why. No one likes to take on that amount of years in money. And so I don't think you were ever going to move those guys. I still had an expectation that you would, attempt to. But the fact they couldn't do that, no, I can't give them an A.
Was that question asked?
It was your boy right here asked that question, and Buster's response was this.
Right on.
Hold on, let me where is it here on
Job,
my board?
Sammy?
There, is this it? Yes, here it is.
I think what I'll say is we made it known to teams that we were really willing to talk about any player, and
good job.
I don't think it does any good to say one way or another for us. We're still excited that we've got those big 3 guys, the Devers, that we have Devers, Chapman, Adames on the team, and still feel like there's a lot of great baseball left for those guys to play. And, glad that they're going to be San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, he's very excited to have those 3 as San Francisco Giants.
So he clearly tried to trade him.
Anybody got anything else?
But no one had anything they want to offer because, again,
well, I don't think there's anybody had anything to offer. It's just that, maybe they did.
Well, nothing to offer they felt was worth offering, I guess. You're going to have to pay the money down. Again, hey, Buster, was ownership willing to pay some of these contracts down? Sam Lubman asked.
Yeah, I think, again, those are kind of sensitive conversations that we'll have, and I don't know if it does any good to really make that public one way or another, but appreciate the question.
No, thank you, Buster.
Right on.
Appreciate you for
good job, Sammy. Give Sammy a cookie. Give him a Sammy cookie.
I get my cookie for the day. But what that tells me is I do think Buster.
Yeah, Moss is out of control, man. Just absolutely out of control.
Where was I going with this? So, I do think Buster had an intention and a desire to move at least one of those 3.
I think he tried.
Or all 3 of them.
You had to read between the lines. He tried.
I think 2 things kind of thwarted his whole plan here. 1, no one wanted to take on those contracts in years. And 2, what I'm gathering is ownership didn't want to pay Rafi Devers $100 million to go play for a different team.
$100 million is a lot.
Well, I mean, he's got 225 left. You got to figure to pay at least that much of it down. I don't think Willy Adames, Willy Adames actually, his contract's really backloaded.
Yeah, I know.
So of the $188 million, I think there's some I want to say it was 160, 150 million, somewhere in that range is left. So what, you get to take on 70 million of dead money? Dan, I love spending the money of billionaires. I will spend all of Joe Lacob's money on all of the NBA players if given the opportunity. I will take the Giants credit card and I will run up the fattest tab possible that you can ever imagine. If it was my decision, if Gray Johnson called me up and said, Sam, what do you think we should do? I'd be like, hey, you should just eat the entire Devers deal and ship him off. You were ready to pay that money. You might as well just do it and then just send him elsewhere and clear the spot for Bryce. That's what I would like to do. But this is, again, you mentioned the first segment, fanatic, stuff like that. And I still consider myself a fan of this team. I'm wearing, my Brandon Belt Captain Aloha shirt today because I love this team. I am a Giants fan. There are guys in that clubhouse that know. I was talking
What's
to
the last Giant you booed?
God, I can't remember.
Melky Cabrera?
No, I definitely booed someone after that.
Melky never came back to get booed.
That's true. The one that always comes to mind is when I booed Barry Zito off the mound in game 161 of 2010.
You booed Barry.
Hey, he earned his redemption later on. I cannot remember the last time I booed a Giants. It's hard for me now, though. When you're in there, I'm not going to boo guys and then go in the clubhouse and talk to them. But, like, I'm a fan of this team. I was chatting with Logan yesterday. I'm just like, hey, man, I'm not pissed like you, but I'm pissed too. I also want to see you guys win.
By the way, do we have the Ruderman replay today?
It depends. Dude's got to wake up and call in.
That's the best part of it. He sleeps through.
But anyway, this is what I'm trying to get to. This is like, as I've done this job more and as I've been around this team more, and I still am a fan, but there's also realities that I don't think I was aware of growing up. And Dan, I separate into two things. There's the world of what we want, and then there's the world of what is. Sometimes the world of what we want, the world of what is crosses over, and, sometimes it doesn't. And me saying I want Greg Johnson to eat $225 million to send Rafi Devers to literally anywhere else, it's not going to happen. That's just the reality. They're not going to eat $100 million. They're not going to eat $70 million. They're not going to eat $50 million. That's no team wants to do that. They should do it. They're not going to.
Well, you just hope that Rafi continues on this trajectory and has a big offensive year, and you can revisit it over the offseason.
Well, here's the problem with the offseason, Dan, is the offseason is going to be about a month long. And that's in any normal...
I think that influenced the trade.
No, I do think in any normal circumstance, you could go into this offseason, because that's when big deals like that are typically moved. It rarely happens in season. Yes, that happened with Devers last year, but you go back the last 15 years, Dan, I tried to find... I set a barometer. Any contract that had at least 4+ years left and $100 million left. Why those numbers? That's what Matt Chapman has. He's got 4 years, $100 million left on his deal. The only deals I found in the last 15 years that were moved in season that met those parameters, 4+ years left, $100+ million left on the
Soto
deal.
was one of those, right?
Soto did not. Soto had 2.5 years left, and I think he had less than $100 million. You have to go back to 2012. It was Josh Beckett, Carl Crawford, and Adrian Gonzalez to the Dodgers. Beckett, I think, had 2 or 3 years left, but Crawford and Gonzalez each had 4+ years, and I think 4.5 years and $100 million each left on their deal. You have to go back to them. That was, in context, new Dodger group took over. That was the Guggenheim group. They took over, and they want to make that splash acquisition to say, hey, a new era of Dodger baseball has arrived. And so they went and bailed out the Red Sox, who, again, it's crazy how the Red Sox are always in on these deals that they're trying to then get rid of. They jumped in. They saved the Red Sox. They threw all this money to get those big contracts. That was the only time, and that was, again, 4.5 years each, $100 million each on those deals. Dan, we're asking the Giants to move contracts that are bigger than those contracts in Willy Adames and Rafi Devers. So think how rare in the last 15 years it is to see deals of that magnitude moved. The Giants trying to move deals bigger than that. That's just the almost, the obstacle that the Giants just couldn't in any way, shape, or form get around, and that sucks.
It may get to a point where you just have to let them walk.
I think Willy Adames is more likely to get DFA'd at some point than traded right now. That's the reality.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of what it's going to come down to. You're going to have to cut your losses.
Yeah.
But the Devers thing, I just don't know how.
Honestly, the Devers thing, I feel like so much of the consternation over Rafi Devers is just the fact that he shares position with Bryce Eldridge.
I don't know, man. That's 8 more years of that? Is it 9 more? 8 more years?
8 more years. It's going to be these next 4 years. You're going to be probably, hey, Rafi. It's those 4 years after that.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's not going to be fun. At some point, he's going to have to be a DH full-time, and Bryce is going to have to be a first baseman full-time. And I just hope to holy hell that when that day comes, Rafi's like, okay, I'll do that.
Let me ask you this. Can you win with Rafi Devers? Can you envision a baseball team, San Francisco Giants, winning a pennant, going deep into the playoffs with Rafi Devers?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
This will be a fun when we get Ruderman on today. He and I go back and forth on this a lot. He thinks that guys like Rafi prevent teams from winning World Series.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him.
He is very much the Rafi is not the kind of presence that leads to a World Series champion.
Because remember last week we were going back and forth about why are the Giants so bad? Usually when you're asking that question, you're looking at the team, they should be much better than this. There's usually culprits like that.
Yeah, he points to, the Bonds in that 2002 team, and I was giving him grief. Like, yeah, Felix Rodriguez blew that, 7th inning because Barry Bonds was a meanie in the clubhouse. But, it's clubhouse culture matters. And I don't know what Rafi does positively or negatively to a clubhouse culture, but it's something that's going to be sitting on the the back of my mind. All right. That's enough deadline talk. That's enough sad Giants talk. I want to talk some fun, warm.
Grade.
Oh, grade B.
Okay.
What about you?
C.
Oh yeah. Again, they did what they needed to do. They restocked their farm with pitching that they need. They're in about as good of a situation as you need to be in that.
Marcelo Mayer.
Actually met Marcelo Mayer yesterday. Seems like a nice guy. So he'll be on the field. It seems maybe in the next week or two. Giants will be able to see. Giants fans will be able to see what he is. Shazzy had a great comp for him the other day. He's the Red Sox Marco Luciano. Top prospect that just failed, needs a fresh start.
He's better than that.
Hopefully. Let's hope so, because Luciano vanished off the face of the earth after he went to the Yankees and Pirates. So, Hank in the East Bay, I see you. We'll get to you on the other side. Mike Krukow. When I say Mike Krukow, Dan, what do you think? Hold your answer for the other side. 888-957-9570. How do we feel about Mike Krukow, Giants fans? And also, our 5 World Series legends are getting inducted into the Wall of Fame today. Pablo, Joe, Brandon, Buster. I want to hear your Giants fans' memories on those guys as well. Next 2 hours is all about nostalgia and good feelings. It is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap, and we are coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, rightfully brewed in San Francisco. And don't forget, Fremont Bank here for you, here for good.
That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
Or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
Looking for something fun and free to do midweek? Come explore Welcome In Wednesdays at History Park. Brought to you by History San Jose. Every Wednesday through August, step inside one of our historic buildings, shop unique local finds at the gift shop, and enjoy the charm of this beautiful open-air museum and park. All for free. Take a walk through time at Welcome In Wednesdays, only at History Park, located in Kelly Park at 1650 Center Road. Visit historysanjose.org for details. That's historysanjose.org.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Bay Area remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Looking for something fun and free to do midweek? Come explore Welcome In Wednesdays at History Park. Brought to you by History San Jose. Every Wednesday through August, step inside one of our historic buildings, shop unique local finds at the gift shop, and enjoy the charm of this beautiful open-air museum and park. All for free. Take a walk through time at Welcome In Wednesdays, only at History Park, located in Kelly Park at 1650 Center Road. Visit historysanjose.org for details. That's historysanjose.org.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Savor the last days of summer at Kiki's Breakfast Cafe. Try the new favorites like avocado toast, caramel coffee, cold brew, and a Bloody Mary. Visit kikis.com for more info. And for a chance to win a gift card courtesy of Kiki's, visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world has noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Control is everything to me. Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
It is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap here on 95.7 The Game. Sam Lubman here, Dan Devone, and it's going to be a very nostalgic, maybe even emotional weekend for Giants fans. Got some big news on Thursday that dropped at 10:01. The great Mike Krukow, after this season, is going to be calling it a career. And, yeah, Dan, that's one of those things you try to brace for when that moment does come. But when it does still arrive, it still hits you all the same as if you didn't prepare for it. And, yeah, he's been in the booth. You know, he started calling games on the radio in 1990. He joined the TV booth in 94. And Kruk and Kipe, I mean, that is the sound of Giants baseball for me growing up. Like that, there is no other way to describe it. Like when I think Giants baseball and what it sounds like, it sounds like Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow making me smile, making me laugh, making me enjoy this game, making me love this game. When you saw that news, Dan, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
I think we have a tendency to take things for granted. Pasta was waxing nostalgic about how he's grown, as you have grown up with these two guys as a whole generation of Giant fans. And they happen to be behind the mic during the dynasty run. And I think if you travel a little bit, if you work in other markets, you realize how special these guys are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only did he have baseball sense, like I always learn, there's few guys that I like listening to because I feel as though I'm going to learn something. And he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you something that you didn't already know. To go along with the wit, to go along with just sort of a San Francisco fit in terms of the personality. All of these things, though, they come to an end. And he won't be replaced. Vince Scully wasn't replaced. Sorry, he's a Dodger. But
I respect Vince Scully.
Yeah, there's just, that it's one of those things that when it's taking place, just enjoy it. kind of like when the Warriors were doing their thing, that this is a once in a lifetime. It's one of those lightning bolts.
They're not recreating it. Yes.
Lightning bolts that comes through life. Just jump on for a little bit. Go nuts for 5, 6, 10, however long, 15, 20 years, because you're never going to replicate this. And it was just so special on so many different levels.
Yeah, no, when I think of those two, and again, Kruko's the one retiring, but you can't have one without the other. They are synonymous with each other. There is a Statler and Waldorf almost kind of quality to them, except instead of ragging on the team, they're just joking around, having a great time up in that booth. But like Mike Krukow along with Dwayne Kuiper, again, as I mentioned, Dan, they are the sound of Giants baseball to me. I grew up with them on my TV. They are a big, big reason why I fell in love with this team. They're a big reason why I love this team so much that I made a career out of covering them and following them and being around that ballpark and being around that team. And they just, even just the way they talked about the game, as you said, you feel like you learned something listening to them. For me, like, they influence how I talk about the game. No one says gamer at all if it weren't for Mike Krukow saying, oh, that guy's a gamer. Like, he influenced how Giants fans talked about this game. He influenced how Giants fans thought about this game. Yeah. He influenced how Giants fans, took in this game. And that they almost had like a cult following in a sense in terms of just how beloved they were. And I can't say, like, they're a big reason why Giants baseball was so great for me growing up. They made those broadcasts entertaining. I'd be sitting in the living room with my dad, and we would sometimes play this game because we've watched those guys so much. You learn their mannerisms, the Krukoisms as he would have. And my dad and I, we'd try and predict, like, what are they going to say next? Is it going to be onage, is it going to be grab some pine meat, stuff like that. And that was always so fun to play because it's like they became characters that you just became engrossed with. And so it's going to be weird not seeing them together. And I think my favorite thing that they ever did together, Dan, I don't remember this, but there was a time when they would do eliminating people, where like they'd show a fan on the screen and they'd be like, oh, look at this guy, he's wearing a Dodger hat. And they use a telestrator and kind of eliminate him from the broadcast or whatever, and squiggle white lines over him. I love that stuff. You've always said, we've talked about bringing a glove to a game. I know you're not a bring a glove to a game guy. You want to know why I'm a bring a glove to a game guy, Dan? Because the amount of games I've watched where a foul ball clanked off some guy's hands and Krukow's like, oh, you should have brought your glove. Eliminate. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want Mike Krukow to eliminate me on TV because I dropped a foul ball. That's why I bring a glove to a game. Mike Krukow is the reason why I bring a glove to a game. That is how far their reach and their influence goes.
Are you still bringing a glove?
Oh, of course.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I don't want to get eliminated. Even if they're not in the booth. It's the principle of the matter. Like, when you have broadcasters that influence how you go about as a fan, how you talk as a fan, how you think and root as a fan, that just shows the reach that those two had into our souls as Giants fans. And it's going to be tough with them not together.
A lot of it is when it comes to play-by-play and broadcasters is he's got the catchphrases. As I mentioned, he's got remarkable insight. He's funny, but it's personality at the end of the day. It's just people that you want to be with, people that you enjoy listening to. And those two guys they sound like two guys. And I guarantee you that when they do a broadcast, this is the way they want you to feel. Like you're just listening to two guys who know the sport going back and forth and talking about the game as if they weren't on TV or their mics weren't live.
Yeah, there's two guys at the bar.
Yeah, two guys who know the game and also are funny as hell and people you want to listen to, you want to be around. And you can't say that, I'd say, for 95% of the broadcasters. I would say, though, Pawson, I look at you because you probably, I spent a lot of time in New York, and I would say, not even a close second, but now it's Gary Cohn and, of course, Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez, who maybe a notch or two notches below, but it's very rare, is my point, where you just, not only do you find announcers that are good, but they fit into the community. And their sense of humor is sort of reflective. That like the vibe is like, yeah, you get us and we get you.
Shasky kind of described it yesterday. It's like he seemed like a guy you could smoke a joint with. Like they both do. And I don't know if those guys partake in it, but like that's the vibe they gave off. They gave very Bay Area vibes. Because you know how Bay Area folk are. We're very impartial to our own.
I can't imagine either one of those dudes smoking. I could see Lincecum, a guy would smoke.
Oh, absolutely. Let's him smoke.
But I'm trying to envision Mike Krukow.
I feel I feel like Kruko's the kind of guy where you get a joint in him and you're not going to get a word in. He's just gonna. I feel like he's a talker after a joint.
Gummies at least.
That's true. He did bring up the gummies on the broadcast one time. I have that right here.
Just have it in your mind that the Dodgers are never going to lose. Never, and then just be really shocked and surprised. And just be happy. Be happy, enjoy it, have a cocktail, celebrate, some popcorn, have a gummy, whatever. Just enjoy it. Hey, it's legal.
I think my favorite Kruk and Kuip games, Dan, are the games where the product on the field was just awful. And by awful, I mean Giants were down 10-1 in the third inning. And then Kruk and Kuip, like, those were their best games. Where it's just an absolute dud on the field. They made those games watchable just because of the banter they had. Maybe they see a fan yawning in the stands and Krukow does this. Or maybe they see two fans in the stands yawning, so they do this.
We've never had two go off at the same time.
It is just he had a phrase for everything, and my favorite was one of my favorites was grab some pine meat. And Dan, when I was at University of Miami in my senior year, I got to call some Miami baseball games.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, the senior year I called 7 or 8, 9, 10, something like that baseball games my senior year, and that was one of those things like I got to do this before I graduate.
Was this a university station, or were you doing?
Yeah, on the campus station, okay. WQAM, the voice of the University of Miami. No, WVUM. QAM is different station. WVUM. And yeah, of course, I mean, I got to drop, some Krukoisms in there. I did a couple of he hits it high, he hits it deep of Dwayne Kuiper, but there's one game I was doing within the guy who was calling the game. It was actually my former roommate. We're doing a game together, and I forgot who was pitching, but this guy was just mowing dudes down. Strike 3. Grab some pine meat. Strike 3. Oh, grab some pine meat. Strike 3 again. Oh, yeah. Grab some pine meat. We go to commercial. He looks at me. All right, enough of the grab some pine meat calls. But at the same time, like, I'm in front of a mic. I'm calling baseball games. A dude just struck out. I grew up on Mike Krukow. What, am I just not supposed to say grab some pine meat when I have that opportunity? Like,
well, you gotta find your own phrase at some point.
Oh, yeah, but no, I'm 22 years old. I have the opportunity. Of course I'm going to emulate, the broadcasters I grew up. That's, again, Dan,
sure,
the influence that they have. So I want to play some other Krukow stories that people had, because we've had a bunch of people over the last few days call in, talk about Mike Krukow. In the next segment, Dan, at a little after 10:30, we're going to hear from Bruce Bochy. Not live. I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. And if you follow the 95.7 The Game on our social channels, Twitter and Instagram, blah, 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 you've probably already seen this interview. I posted it yesterday. If you're not on social media, first off, good. Don't. It's awful. But two, yeah, this will be a new thing for you to hear. So that'll be coming up a little after 10:30. Hear what Bruce Bochy had to say about Mike Krukow. But I want to hear what Giants fans have to say about Mike Krukow. 888-957-9570. When I say Mike Krukow, you say what? So let's knock out some of these calls. If you got other Giants thoughts too, we can get those in as well. Giants talk, Giants thoughts, Mike Krukow. Let's go to the lines. Starting with their guy, Hank, in the East Bay. Hank, how you doing this morning, man? You're on the wrap.
Hi. Hey, guys. How you all doing?
Doing good, Hank.
Anyway, I'm doing pretty well. It's been a crazy week. Freddie Krueger, Oregon Trail, Don Rickles. It's been a whirlwind. I just want to say that, first of all, Krukow was working with the Giants before 94 because in 93, 94, Kuiper was working for the Rockies, Dwayne Kuiper. People don't remember that.
That's a good point.
When the Rockies were starting their expansion team, they wanted a hot announcer, so they got Dwayne Kuiper.
Okay, I actually did not know that.
People don't know that. People don't know that. And people also don't know that the Giants have a rule, and they've had it for decades, maybe even 100 years, of no yawning. So the players aren't allowed to yawn. So I'm sure that when Krukow was doing the Tarzan, I'm sure he did that as a player. Anyway, enough with the Giants facts. I don't want. Anyway,
those are interesting facts, actually, Hank. Thank you for those.
Interesting facts. Yeah, I love this team. I've been a fan since '89. My first game was Dave Dravecky Day.
Ooh,
I want
the first one or the second one?
First game I ever went to, Dave Dravecky Day. I I didn't know we had Disneyland. I'm thinking out of my head, you know? It's a very, very emotional week for me.
I bet.
Yeah, but I just want to say that I think people are too tough on Devers. Me personally, when I first heard of the deal last year, would have been May or June or whatever, I was against it because, I didn't want a first base DH. I wanted maybe a shortstop or a catcher or something like that. But I've really grown to like Devers, and I just want to say that there's, just like I brought up a couple points when I called in at first. I want to say that what people miss about Devers is when the Red Sox asked him to move from third to first, and he agreed to it. What he was doing was he was basically voluntarily leaving Cooperstown.
He didn't agree to it.
Potentially. No, so let me clarify again. He didn't agree to go from first base to DH. Devers agreed to go. That's why he was so upset, is because he already moved from third base to first base. So they were Jimmy Jacking him around. Pause. So the one thing I would say, though, is that third base has the least amount of Hall of Famers in Cooperstown of any position. So when Devers moved from third to first, when he agreed to it voluntarily, he was saying, I don't need Cooperstown. What an amazing guy. What an amazing guy. And if you think these players don't understand.
Wait, maybe you're right, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought he refused to play first base for the Red Sox.
Nope. He had already moved to first base, and everything was fine.
He never played first base for the Boston Red Sox. The first time he played first base was with the Giants. Sorry.
No, we lost him there. No, I think because, he did play a little bit of first base before. No, they wanted him to move. No, so what happened was, I believe, and Risotto, if you want to jump in here and correct the record at any point, he was playing third base. They moved him to first. Bregman came in. They
pissed it off.
And the reason that was because they never told him that they were bringing Bregman in and moving him. That is where Rafi got pissed off at the Red Sox. That is where the Red Sox screwed up. They didn't call their star, their homegrown star, and said, hey, this is what's going down with Alex Bregman. We want to make sure you're on board. They all went behind his back and did all of this.
That's according to his team. I mean, the Red Sox, I'm sure, have a different spin.
Oh, I'm sure the Red Sox are saying they tried to reach out to him. And then the point is, when you're the general manager, like, you got to get a hold of your player. Like, there's an expectation there that you got to figure that out. If it doesn't work out, then these things happen. So Rafi didn't.
Do we know for a fact that they didn't?
I don't know if we're ever going to know.
I don't know that I want to.
When the tell-all comes out in 20 years and they do the 30 for 30 on him, like.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So then but I thought he. Okay,
well, no. So then what happened is, so they moved him to DH because they had Tristan Casas at first, and so they moved him to DH, and he wanted to play the field. He was upset that they went behind his back, signed Bregman, and expected him to move to DH without telling him ahead of time. Something similar, I believe, happened with the Giants and Carlos Correa and Brandon Crawford.
But correct me if I'm wrong. He never played first base for the Boston Red Sox.
Never did. No, he did not.
Yeah. So,
no, you're right. He did not. Yeah.
So the idea that whatever the caller is saying that he switched to first base.
I think he meant to say switch to DH, not first base.
Voluntarily removed himself from being a potential Hall of Famer and decided to play first base. He never put on the glove. It was on the dirt.
No, I don't know if I would I kind of disagree with how Hank characterized that he gave up on the Hall of Fame. I mean, I disagree with that characterization, though I see how he kind of came to that. I'm not trying to crush you there, Hank. But yeah, they moved him to DH. They didn't tell him. Similar situation happened with Crawford and the Carlos Correa thing, where they inked Correa to that deal, and the expectation was Crawford was going to move to third, and I think Brandon Crawford's like, okay, cool, that's news to me. And of course, Carlos Correa's ankles had termites, and so they had to scuttle the whole deal, and everyone was mad. When things really snapped with Rafi was when Casas got hurt, and they said, well, now can you play first base? And that was when Rafi's like, you'd stop moving me around. I'm out. Get me out of here. When you say it out loud like that, it all sounds petty and stupid. This is how it works, though, at the big league level. So let's keep going through these calls here. 888-957-9570.
One more thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You had a nugget on Rafi, and you also had a nugget on Dwayne Kuiper, right?
So Hank mentioned that Dwayne Kuiper was an announcer for the Rockies in 1993, and that's true. And the reason is, Kuiper retired and then started doing games with Joe Morgan in the mid-'80s. And then in 1993, the Giants were being sold by Bob Lurie, and Kuiper was under the impression that the Giants were moving to St. Petersburg, Florida. So he accepted another job with the newly implemented Colorado Rockies, thinking the Giants were not going to be in San Francisco anymore. And then Peter McGowan bought the team. They stayed. And Kipe was like, well, crap. Like, what? Like, I'm in Colorado. He signed a 3-year deal with the Rockies, and he did the first season in Colorado. And then the Rockies were nice enough to let him out of the contract, and he came back to the Giants. And the rest is history. So that's why he was in Colorado for that 1 year.
And there you have
That's
it.
insightful,
And the legend was born. That's why he's a part of the team here.
See, Pasta's not all just fun and games. He comes strong.
No, he brings facts. That's why I like having him.
Let's get to some
on
of
the
these
show.
callers.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Mike Krukow, that's the conversation. 888-957-9570. When I say Mike Krukow, you say what? Alejandro in San Francisco. What you got for us today, Alejandro? You're on the wrap.
Hey, how you doing, Sam? When I think of Mike Krukow, I think of community. But before we're talking about Mike Krukow, I just wanted you guys were talking about former Giants players that we booed as fans, and it got me thinking. Maybe you haven't heard this name in a while. His name was Armando Benitez.
Good call.
I remember as a kid, he would get booed so much the moment he got called in, just nonstop during his warm up. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, going back to Mike Krukow. Just wanted to, due diligence. I'm from the 90s, so I don't know how it feels to listen to a Giants game without Mike Krukow. I want to say thank you to him, for being part of our lives. He just brought this kind of like calmness to the game. He always had good perspectives, positive perspectives. Us as Giants fans, we've gone through a lot of tough seasons, but it always seems that he always found a positive spin out of it. And there's no, like you said, Sam, there's no Kruk without Kipe. So, just wishing him the best. And as a fan, I'll miss him. It'll be weird, not seeing him on the broadcast, but, I know he's going to be well. And so I just want to leave off by saying, and if I could tell him one last message would just be have a great retirement and grab some pie and meat. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. I'm sure he would appreciate that in that sense there. And again, we're just our favorite, Mike Krukow memories and stuff. And we're playing some of the calls here and some of the lines that he's had. And honestly, one of my low-key favorite Mike Krukow moments, like this going back to 2013, I want to believe. This was the game in Wrigley Field where it started raining and they completely botched getting the tarp on the field. And Krukow lost his mind on the broadcast because he thought the Cubs did it on purpose. What year is that, 2013 or 2014?
2014, the World Series
that's
year.
right, yeah. And they needed that game, too. And so he lost his mind because he thought the Cubs did it on purpose.
And it was one of the few times in recent history that a team has won a protest.
Yeah, Giants protested that game. They replayed it. Giants won, got into the playoffs, won the World Series, and we all lived happily ever after. And I like to say it was because Krukow got angry on the broadcast. That's what started going.
One more call before the break?
Yeah, let's squeeze in our guy, SKILLZ, Skills and Vallejo. What do you got today, Skills?
Hey, I called in. I want to share some memories because you asked for memories of Giants going on the wall today, but I also got a Krukow memory I could share.
Yeah, fire away.
All right. When I think about Mike Krukow, it's on the broadcast. Oftentimes they would show the highlights from his playing career. And one of the highlights that we would show a lot was when he hit Dave Winfield, like in 1980, whenever it was. And Winfield, who was 6'6", 240, charged him out. Krukow stood his ground. He did not budge. He waited for Dave Winfield to come get him. Somebody, I think, intercepted Winfield, so they never actually collided. But just the fact that he was willing to stand up to a man that size, that mad, I have mad respect for him for that, let alone everything else he did on the air. But I want to share my memories from the 5 Giants going to the wall today. I'll try to go through them quickly. I know you got a break. Joe Panik. I remember the home run he hit off Kershaw. I believe that was 2017. The Giants won that game 1-0. And then Panik homered again the next night. It looked like he was on his way to great things. It didn't really pan out, unfortunately. Brandon Belt, MLB The Show. This may not really count, but for me, he's hit the farthest home run into McCovey Cove that I've ever hit in years and years of playing that game. It's actually ice out there. If you know that game, it's actually ice, not water. But he's hit the first ball to the ice that I've ever had. So that's my Brandon Belt memory. Brandon Crawford. There's only been 4 splash home runs, walk-off home runs hit at Oracle Park over the years. Bonds has 1. Yastrzemski has 2. Crawford has the other. He walked off the Rockies in 2014 with a splash home run, and that's my memory of Crawford.
I remember that one, yeah.
Sandoval. Yeah, you remember that one probably. Yeah, Sandoval. And Sandoval, for him, is I've told the story on the air before about how one day Tim Lincecum hit Matt Kemp, and Matt Kemp was ready to start. Well, he started walking out towards him like he was going to do something to Lincecum, and Sandoval charged him 100 miles an hour, ready to spear Kemp if he had to. and that's my main Sandoval memory that I take away. And who was the last Wall person that we're talking about?
Buster.
Who did we go through? Panic. I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, I get Buster.
Oh yeah, Posey, of course. 2017. Again, this is Strickland versus Harper. Harper gets hit by Strickland. Harper charges him out, and Buster lets him go. Buster's like, I'm not dealing with this. I am not dealing with this. And that's my memories. I'll let you guys go. Thank you.
I believe I recall Hunter Strickland requested Buster not to get in the way on that one at some point. That's why Buster didn't do anything. Buster got some flack for that, actually. A lot of fans, shocker fans, mad at Buster Posey. Who'd have thought? Mitch, what's poppin'? We'll cat to you on the other side. We'll also hear from Bruce Bochy on the other side. Mike Krukow. When I say Mike Krukow, Giants fans, you say what? 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text, and it's brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Think you've got baseball figured out? Put your predictions to work on Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market and official partner of Major League Baseball. Trade on who's winning the division or taking home the Cy Young or MVP and who wins it all in October. As every game changes the season, the markets move too, creating new opportunities to trade. You're trading against other fans, not the house. Download the Polymarket app today and use promo code BLAZE to unlock $20 free for your first trade. That's promo code BLAZE.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
When back to the office means back in traffic, turn to the traffic leader, KCBS.
For a 4-car collision.
Brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers. Award-winning efficiency and a low summer payment? Choose the Honda Accord today. It's the right choice for summer at your Northern California Honda dealers.
Don't miss Built Like a Baller every Friday as the Morning Roast breaks down the standout performance of the week.
Burton a heave at the horn from 28. Banks it in!
Brought to you by Baylord. Wealth management for the Bay and the people who've built it.
Hey, it's Willard. Embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. If you've ever stayed for the 9th inning comeback, know how to time the beer run to still make it back for the stretch. If you're up for whatever the game brings, then embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing. Hazy, citrusy, smooth. Brewed with the purest ingredients for finest quality, there's a reason it's America's best-selling Hazy IPA. Embrace the haze with Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing. Enjoy responsibly.
You listen to 95.7 The Game for the best sports insights. Now, use that same power to grow your business. When you advertise with us, you're reaching a massive audience of local consumers and business decision makers every day. Let our team help you build a game plan that delivers results. Scale your business and win the market. To get started, visit Advertise with 957 The Game at Odyssey.com. That's Advertise with 957 The Game at AUDACY.com.
Buy more and get more this fall at Ashby Lumber, your local Milgard certified dealer. From September 1st through October 31st, purchase qualifying V400 Tuscany or V300 Trinsic windows and receive a gift card valued from $200 to $1,000. Plus, earn bonus gift cards from $350 to $750 on qualifying patio doors and moving glass walls. Visit Ashby Lumber's Berkeley or Concord showroom for complete details. Milgard Windows and Doors at Ashby Lumber.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Don't miss comedian Joe Coy on his Coy Meets World Tour at Oakland Arena on November 13th. Buy your tickets at joecoy.com for your chance to win your way into the show courtesy of Icon Live. Visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
Now back to the best Giants talk in the Bay. The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. It's a golden weekend for the Giants. Getting very nostalgic today on the wrap. Mike Kruko's calling it a career at the end of the season. And every broadcast he is on the rest of the way is going to be that much more special.
Who takes his place?
I can't even get it to that point yet. My guess right off the rip.
Don't say Hunter Pence.
I think Hunter Pence might be. Hunter Pence and Dwayne Kuiper, that's going to be an interesting combo there.
Well, nothing's going to work with Kuiper because
the obvious choice
is too high.
The obvious choice is going to be Kuiper and Flem. Flem, obviously, Dave, he can do both play-by-play and color. He's just that good. So
that's two play-by-play guys.
Oh, no, but Dave can do both.
Yeah. They're going to have to find another quote-unquote personality.
I think Javi Lopez has done good on the broadcast. Yeah. I enjoy Sean Estes. So, it's...
Yeah, Pasta said the same thing. I find him really dry. He's good, but...
Listen, if you're going to sit there...
Sean Estes. He's good.
Yeah, if you're going to sit there and say, that whoever's next has to be on the level of Mike Kruko, you're going to be very disappointed. You're never recreating that. It's it's not happening.
No, I agree with that.
That was... but, again, it's going to be a different. I can't get it to that point where I'm thinking who's next beyond Kruko. We thought replacing Bruce Bochy was difficult. This is even bigger than that.
Why don't you throw your hat into the ring?
And speaking of Bruce Bochy, I would never want those kind of expectations. Speaking of Bruce Bochy, we're going to hear from him in just a moment. I had a chance to catch up with Bochy yesterday and talk a little bit about Mike Kruko and the Wall of Fame ceremony this weekend. So. We'll hear from him in just a moment. It's a quick 4.5-minute conversation. I'm getting away from the long interviews this year, Dan, because I don't think the players really like me taking 20 minutes of their time. And I did. I was chatting with.
How's Boch doing?
Boch seems to be doing good. Yeah. He seems to be doing good. He's. Right. I kind of feel bad. I feel like he's be answering the same Mike Kruko questions all weekend long. So hopefully I got him early in the process to where. He wasn't being worn down by all the same questions. So.
Hey, Pasta, do you want to share what it is that you told us earlier about the relationship between Kruk and Kuip?
Yeah, I think people just generally forget that they're best friends. That it's kind of unprecedented, their relationship going from guys who played together. By the way, both outside San Francisco, and
friends before they were teamed as. Broadcast
they
partners.
Were teammates in San Francisco. They would call games on the bench, and both outside, not from the Bay Area. Kuiper from the Midwest, Kruko from Southern California, and they're best friends. And that kind of fed into their relationship the last few years. And I think a lot of people, but Dwayne Kuiper especially, wanted to delay this day from ever coming. And what I mean by that is the last few years, there has been instances where it's been harder for Kruko. He's got the muscle muscle deterioration. He basically cannot walk anymore. He's in a scooter, in a wheelchair scooter, and it's been harder for him. He started off only doing California games, and then he pretty much only did home games. And when Kruko was in his final years traveling, he was having trouble navigating through these ballparks, these older ballparks that aren't as accommodating as Oracle Park. And it was Dwayne Kuiper who was the one that would kind of, do some work ahead of time. For example, they went to Wrigley Field, and Kruko told Kuiper and said, "Hey, how am I going to get around Wrigley Field? This is just it's a maze. It's an old ballpark. You got to take a staircase to get to the broadcast booth." And it was Dwayne Kuiper who said, no, I got it covered. And there's a good ESPN article about this years ago. And he said, no, I got it covered. And Kuiper organized for Kruko to get up to the booth, no issue. And the same thing goes for Oracle Park. When Oracle Park maybe wasn't as accommodating, no, it's fine. We got a ramp installed. No, it's fine. The Giants organization got you a scooter. So it's been Dwayne Kuiper who I would even say afraid. I would even say he's kind of been afraid of this day for a while, and now it's here. And he's been trying to delay it by making sure Kruk doesn't get to the point of saying, I can't do this anymore. And I think Kuiper deserves a lot of credit with the way that he's navigated through this.
Anyway, Kuiper walks away?
I don't know. I mean, he seems pretty steadfast that he wants to keep doing this. Those are two guys, and John Miller is in that same conversation too. I don't care how much you think they're slowing down or not as good as they used to be or anything like that. All three of those guys, and Dave too, but I think Dave's got at least another 50 years left in him. They decide when they're done. Like, if Kuiper says, yeah, I got another 10 years in me, it's like, cool, you got another 10 years at you. Go for it. John Miller says that, yeah, I'm going to keep calling games for the next 20 years. John, called games for the next 20 years. Like, you've earned that right.
He called A's games.
Yeah, John Miller, called A's games back at the Coliseum back in the 1970s, and he was with the Orioles for a while, and he's another one. He's the voice synonymous with Giants baseball.
Speaking of impressions, he does an amazing Vince Scully. Amazing Vince Scully.
Two into the Harvey Keene.
I do want to get to calls in this Bochy thing a little bit, but Dan, you bring up you brought up the impersonation here, and I guess now we have to talk about Steven Risotto's Dave Fleming impersonation now as our mini Dave Fleming here. And he actually, John Miller called in to Willard and Dibbs the other day, and Miller got a surprise conversation with Dave Fleming, sort of.
This is not Dave Fleming, but it might as well be with the next question for you here on this interview.
How you doing, John? Dave Fleming from San Francisco at the corner of 3rd and King from the Hawaiian Airlines broadcast booth. And I'm not here to tell you that Ruben Rivera missed second base, but I am here to ask you a question about the rest of the season for the 2026 Giants. And I want to know, what do you think is the outlook after the trade deadline, John?
Slim!
John!
Wow. That's great.
And so, of course, we have Dave on the next day to talk about Mike Krukow. And it's like, well, Dave, before you go, you got to hear this impersonation.
Oh, we're not going to do that again.
No. So we played it, and then this was Dave's reaction.
What do you give him? 5 out of 5?
What's that guy's name?
Steven Risotto.
What's that guy's name?
Steven Risotto.
Okay. I'll have to meet Steven someday. I'll have to meet Steven. Let's make that happen.
Oh, that's fantastic.
For me. And I'll whoop up on Risotto for you.
Did he say talk to you guys soon?
Meet him. I'm doing it.
He's going to get a stern talking to from Dave Fleming. Thanks, Dave.
So, yeah, Dave, don't worry. Later today, we'll be able to...
It was a little salty there, Fosta.
Little salty. Actually, the one that I did during the crossover was a little salty there. Thank you, John. The one during the crossover, I think, was the better Fleming. It's I mean that one.
You mean this one right here?
Welcome back at the corner of 3rd and King. Dave Fleming, John Miller in the broadcast booth, brought to you by Lazy Boy. Rafael Devers stands up to the plate. Casey Schmidt at first. Here's the pitch, and Devers swings and drives one deep right center field towards the gap. This one is off the bricks. Schmidt around third. They're sending him. Here's the relay to the plate. He is out at the plate. And I don't know why they sent him. Hector Bourne came back for 1 day and got Schmidt thrown out at the plate. And this game is over.
That's incredible.
Wow. And you've got to be kidding me.
That is incredible.
Sam Lubman, book me on the roast tomorrow.
Dude, who is that guy?
I know I did. I know I got a mention in there.
Is that Willard who's just lost it?
Sam Lubman. No, it was Willard. Yeah. Willard loves the Fleming. So it's strange because this is like blown up on my social media. My phone won't stop buzzing. And Justice De Los Santos of the Mercury has been sending it around, and apparently it got to Brian Anderson, the play-by-play voice of the Brewers, and he said he loved it. He's a close friend of Flem, apparently. But it's like I do this every day around. Hey Dan, good morning, and like it's surprising that it's
That's
like caught
funny
on.
that Fleming would take it that way. Kind of reminds me of Frank Caliendo. And Caliendo would do John Madden, and John Madden could not stand it.
Friend of the station, he's been on.
Well, I think, if you're the person getting impersonated, it doesn't hit the same. So, like, there was a day I like to think I could do a Willard laugh, because Willard's got a very distinct laugh. He's got like a, yeah. We played it for him one day, and he's like, no, that's not my laugh at all. And so they played during a crossover. And you go back, you look at the clip. Evan was in for Steiny that day. And when Evan heard it, Evan just has like this, what the heck? Kind of like look on his face. So yeah, I just think, when you are the person getting impersonated, I don't know if it hits the same. And also, we
gotta have a sense of humor there, Flem.
Dan Devone here with.
Well, that sucks.
Bye, Felisa.
It does not suck. Evan Giddings, the strapping young 32-year-old.
Your Dave's a little bit better there, Risotto. All
right.
We're gonna hear from Bruce Bochy. Oh God.
All right, give him a moment.
Hey, Bruce.
No,
that didn't work.
Alrighty, Mitch, what's popping?
Hey, you guys are doing. What's popping? I don't understand, Dan.
We're good, Mitch. How you doing?
You guys do an invitation. Good. Is Risotto going to do a good invitation to me? Because I'd love to hear it.
Can you do one? You got one up your sleeve there?
See what you got, Rizzo.
Yeah, hey, Mitch. Boba's a really good ball player. Yeah, he's a good ball player. Hits the ball hard. Home runs all the time.
What do you think, Mitch?
Sounds like Marty. How you guys doing? Well, first of all, you're stuck with Adames and Devers especially. We're really stuck with him. I think he's wrong. Whoever says that the first baseman has the least amount of Hall of Famers, there's so many good first basemen.
No, he said third baseman.
Yeah, third baseman with that.
Oh, the hot corner. So he wants. Oh, okay. I thought I heard first base. I don't think they have too many DHs because it's only been around since '72. Thank God we have DH Eldridge. Bring up. Let's see what we have in the minors. And Derek Cohen and Encarnacion, but I said that already. Two guys I mentioned last year, Bo and Josh, they're having bad years. And two guys that you mentioned, they're going, I guess, to retire their numbers, besides being honored, I suppose, Belt and Pablo. Pablo, I'm jealous. I guess he can eat wherever he wants. And Belt, that's a perfect name for baseball. Belt. Brandon Belt.
Mitch, what do you got on Mike Krukow?
He's a chef home runs. Krukow, he just reminded me of was getting old because I remember those guys playing. Thanks. I'm getting old. I'm just 10 years behind Krukow.
Hey, can you give us an impersonation of anybody?
No, I can't.
You do a Richie and Queens?
Richie and Queens.
Oh, that's a pretty good one right there.
New York accent, but I love that New York accent. Don't forget, the East Coast is the best coast, but I'm judging you guys. Sports, you're living out there, it's here. I'll take 60 in August in San Francisco any day over the weather here that we have now.
That you are absolutely right there on, Mitch. Thanks for calling in here. We're going to hear from Bruce Bochy in a minute, but I do want to give to Andy and Sonoma as well. Andy, Mike Krukow talked about you on the broadcast. Okay, let's hear that braggadocious story.
Well, first of all, thanks for taking my call. I've been going to baseball games for 60 years or so and had never caught a ball. Went to a game probably 5 years ago. A good friend had gotten us some great field level seats, and we were talking about catching a ball. I brought my glove, and had mentioned to the woman next to me that she had to be ready for a ball hitting off the facade, and that's exactly what happened. Hit off the facade above us, dropped down right into my glove. Guy behind me said, "Hey, you're on TV," and they didn't get the catch, but the camera panned over, and Kite said, "Hey, did Van make a play?" Brought his glove, and Krug said, "You still got it, Grandpa? Atta babe." And some of my friends were, a little pissed off on my behalf, but I was 65 years old, so I could be a grandpa. And catching the ball was a thrill, but being talked about, particularly by Krug, was just as special as it gets. And I still have a recording of that. Watched it a couple of days ago in honor of Krug. He's been a great broadcaster. The two of them are as good as it gets. And I've been watching baseball since I was a kid in New York. We will miss him.
Thank you, Andy. That's a great story there. And hey, you got the ball. And it says it's a great line here from the 669. Bring your glove, get a ball. That's a Mike Krukoism right there.
Did you ever have a conversation with him?
Kruko, I don't think I had a chance to bump into him yet. There's a part of it, and this is going to make me sound like a loser, but there is a little intimidation factor to it. Because, like, when you see guys who you grew up just idolizing, there is a little bit of like you do get shy going up to approach them. I'm trying to get him to come on the roast Monday. But this is one of those things like, you know what? I just need to grow up and just go and say what's up to him. You know, that's my own personal battle.
I'm surprised that usually does not stop on Sam Lubman.
You'd be surprised, Dan. But no, there are times like when I see, like a lot of times I'll see him in the press dining room where he's, eating with, Kipe and Flem and John. And like, I'm not going to go bothering them when they're eating and doing their thing and stuff like that. So it's just, it's been trying to find the right moment. You don't always see him. And then there's a little bit of like, maybe I just need to, just man up and do it.
People forget he was a hell of a player too.
Yeah, no, he's good. He was an all-star in 87, I want to believe.
Former Cub, former Philly, obviously former Giant.
20-game winner.
He did win 20 games. Again, I believe that was in that 87 season is when he won those 20 games. That
was Roger Craig, and they went to the playoffs that year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Jeff Leonard's one flap down series against the Cardinals. And, we were earlier in the show, Dan, we were talking about, the Giants trade deadline and, good trades the Giants have made. And it's a trade that doesn't get talked about a lot. Al Holland and Joe Morgan, this trade was made, I want to say, in 1983, I want to believe. One of the most significant trades in Giants history. That is the trade. Al Holland and Joe Morgan brought in Mark Davis, C.L. Pennegar, and one Mike Krukow. And when we talk about trades having value, I always say, like, Major League Baseball trades, the value
went to the Phillies.
Yes. Yeah, I believe that. No, it was the Phillies or the Cubs with this trade. And neither here nor there. That was a trade that brought Mike Krukow to the Giants. And I always say, we talk about the greatest trades in franchise history. Like, that is one of them. Because can you imagine this organization without that voice? And so it's, baseball trades, they can have so much value in so many different ways. So, maybe Henry Lane will be a great broadcaster someday, and I'm going to call you up and be like, Dan, you see, this is why you had to get rid of Elliot Ramos that one time. All right.
Wait, really quick, you mentioned Joe Morgan, and we're talking about great broadcasting teams. Let's not forget Joe Morgan and John Miller, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Awesome tandem. Played off each other so well and had a remarkable run. And people have a tendency to forget because he's been an institution with the Giants for so long, but John Miller was an institution in front of the country with Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
And they were a remarkable tandem. It's not easy to pair two guys who just fit like a glove.
No, I mean, that's why I don't even want to think about what's going to be next with Kruk and Kipe, because, again, you talk about just great broadcasting duos. And we see some good ones today, obviously, Kruk and Kipe in the NFL. We had Joe Buck on the Morning Roast yesterday. Him and Troy Aikman are incredible together.
Summerall Madden.
Yeah, it's just, it's hard to have that kind of chemistry. Not everyone can be as in sync as you and I are, Dan, on this show every Saturday morning. Do. No, it took us a minute to get there, but I think we do pretty well for ourselves now.
It's going to be like the last few seasons of The Office.
I never really got into The Office. Is that when after Steve Carell left and they had like a cycle of new Michael Scotts?
That's the vibe I'm getting from this whole thing.
Yeah, or like 2.5 Men when Charlie Sheen left.
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh, I soldiered through those 4 seasons. That was rough. All right, before we go to the break in a few minutes, I teased it. I'm trying to get better at paying off my teases. I had a conversation with Bruce Bochy yesterday. He's in town for the Wall of Fame ceremony, and Boch is there. Boch, I can go up and then I'll say something too. So now I have no excuse. I got to go say something to Krukow.
Right.
But thank you, Boch. And
I say he's an idiot.
No, and that's what Boch said to me after he got done with the interview. He said, Lumberman's an idiot. No, you didn't say that. But anyway, courtesy of the River Islands guest line, here's my conversation with Bruce Bochy about Mike Krukow. And, of course, I had to throw in a Wall of Fame question as well.
Bruce, when you heard the news that Krukow was calling it a career, what was your first reaction when you heard that?
Well, I think like everybody, I was stunned. I was shocked. I've been listening to him. When I managed, I didn't get a chance to listen to Kruk and Kipe, and I have a deeper appreciation of how good they are, man. They're incredible. And he hadn't lost a beat. He's been doing a great job, and he's so easy to listen to. He and Kipe, and they're entertaining. People love them, and so for him to announce this, I was sad. I really was, but I'm happy for he and Jennifer, as they, enter this next chapter in life. But, I mean, what a career he's had. He embodies what Forever Giant is. He played for the Giants, had a great career for him, played Candlestick here, incredible announcer. He'll be going in the Hall of Fame. So very, very happy for him and what he did in his career, and now that he's going to step down and have more time with the family.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned him going in the Hall of Fame. Of course, everyone wants to see him and Kite go in together. That'd be really great to see. Just what made their partnership special in your eyes?
Yeah, just the chemistry between those two. They knew what the other was thinking. They fed off each other so well, and they knew when not to say something or when to lighten things up, bring some humor to it, or educate you. They're so good at it, and that's why they're so beloved here. I mean, they really connected the team to the fans, and that's what great announcers do, and that's why I have such a deep appreciation of how good they are.
Yeah. So Krukow is known for his Krukowisms. He always had something he could say that could bring a smile out of people. Just what's a line or a phrase that he had that maybe he dropped on you or that you heard that just really stood out to you?
Well, I'm old school, kind of like him, I guess. And when he came out with that grab some pine meat, that's just classic. That's the one that sticks with you. Now, what I do remember is when I came up here in 2007, and he had this handshake that the Giants, if you're a Giant, is how you shake hands, and you leave the little pinky out and shake the hands, and every time I saw him, he made sure I did that because sometimes I'd forget. And he goes, no, this way. And so he played a part in the culture of the San Francisco Giants by things like this, talking about family, we're family, and that played a huge role in the players that come up here and realize what the Giants are about.
Do you remember what it was like meeting him when you met him?
Well, I met him when it came. Well, I know I had to talk to him when I was managing against the Giants. They come by. I don't remember the first time, but always enjoy talking to him. I really respected what he did on the field. I get to play against him a little bit, and also I'd heard how good he and Kite were, and so yeah, it was a pleasure to spend 13 years with him. He and Kite they just had a great knack of knowing when I needed to be picked up a little bit, tough series, and they could see me in that front seat, and they found a way to, put some humor in it, or Kite would put his hand on my shoulder, show me that World Series ring, and they'd get me out of those doldrums, and I'd be in a better mood.
So you mentioned the World Series ring. We're going to be honoring 5 World Series legends this weekend with the Wall of Fame, Pablo, Joe, the Brandons, Buster. Just how excited are you to see everyone together again? Is there someone who you're very excited to see this weekend who's going to be in town?
Yeah, I'm just excited to see all of them together. I mean, they've meant so much to our club, and not just what they did on the field, but in that clubhouse. All great character guys, all a little different personality. You had Pablo with all that energy, and you had the calmness of Joe Panik, the steadiness, and of course the elite defense like Crawford and Belt's humor, and of course Buster, the leader of the club, who made everybody better around him. I'm looking forward to seeing them all, and a lot of coaches that are coming in, a lot of other players. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of these guys.
Appreciate you, Bruce.
You got it. My pleasure.
All right, so that was my conversation with Bruce Bochy there. And again, it was a very nice conversation to have with Boch, and it's cool being able to kind of catch up with him and talk about Mike Krukow, calling it a career there. And again, we're going to play some other stories as well. We got a John Miller story we're going to play. We got a Dave Fleming story we're going to play. We're going to play a bunch of other Mike Krukow highlights, moments, calls as well. And some of those calls are going to be some notable Giants moments as well. During this last hour here, because again, we got 5 guys going on the Wall of Fame today. Pablo Sandoval, the Brandons, Belton Crawford, Joe Panik, Buster Posey. There's certain plays, obviously, that stand out with all those guys, so we'll play those highlights on the other side as well. We're having a big nostalgia day here on the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap, talking Giants baseball. 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text. Mike Krukow, Giants Wall of Famers, anything from the past. That's what we're doing today. We are living in the past today, folks. That is what we're doing on the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. More Kruko talk, more fun Giants talk coming up. Brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Golf, community, giving back. Join Pettinelli Financial Partners for the 11th annual charity golf tournament benefiting the Autism Society San Francisco Bay Area. Gather your friends, clients, or colleagues for a memorable day on the course while supporting programs and resources for local individuals and families affected by autism. Whether you're signing up a foursome or becoming an event sponsor, your participation helps make a meaningful impact. Visit PettinelliFP.com today to register and learn more. We look forward to seeing you on the course.
That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Hey, it's Dan Dibley. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, the team in New York that happens to be in the American League is trading at a 10% chance to win it all, meaning a $100 trade will pay out $927 if they are the last team standing in October. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Download the Kalshi app and use code DIBS, DIBS, to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI. Kalshi. You can trade on anything. 18 and over only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices and values and available markets may differ from those mentioned here. For more information, go online to kalshi.com/regulatory.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Savor the last days of summer at Kiki's Breakfast Cafe. Try the new favorites like avocado toast, caramel coffee, cold brew, and a Bloody Mary. Visit Kikis.com for more info. And for a chance to win a gift card courtesy of Kiki's, visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. During the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station and the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries. Always live on the free Odyssey app and now coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Now back to the best Giants talk in the Bay. The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
One more hour to go here on the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap, and we are getting nostalgic on this edition of the Wrap. Here, Sam Lohman alongside Dan Devone, and it's a glorious San Francisco summer day, Dan. This is what a summer day in San Francisco should look like. Cloudy, overcast, 64 degrees. This is the summer I signed up for. What was it like in New York when you were out there?
It was ugly. It was crazy.
You said some crazy numbers at the break. Why don't you tell the audience?
100% humidity. It's like, 91, humid, and then immediately it would change from block to block. The thunder showers, hot again, thunder showers. I just got absolutely drenched. It looks like someone just threw a bucket of water on me as I came home one day.
Oh my God. That happened to me in Miami one time.
It happens a lot in Miami.
Wet. I was in Miami. It was my freshman year. I had to go walk down to the store just off campus to. It's actually I was going to get some body paint because I was to paint myself up for the Miami Ohio State game.
You told me this.
Yeah, no, and just started dumping on me.
Did you send me a picture of him in body paint, Pasta?
No.
From college?
Oh, I might have showed it to you because I brought up earlier because somehow on the roaster this week, body paint came up. And I was
picture of you and a couple of buddies back at the University of Miami?
I might have shown it to you. Yeah, here I'll bring it up on this auditory medium here. Of the pictures I have.
Showed it to me. Then.
It might have. I don't know. Maybe I sent it to you, but yeah, no.
Maybe you sent it to us.
But back in college, this is my first ever college football game that I went to in Miami. It was Miami Ohio State. We called it the Ineligible because Ohio State's tattoo thing was just breaking. Miami obviously had their Nevin Shapiro scandal breaking at that time, and but it was still a big game for us. It was still Miami Ohio State, and so my friend and I had this genius idea. I'm going to paint myself green, and then I'll be the orange half of the U. You paint yourself orange and be the green half of the U. And, so here is the picture of the two of us.
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, I'm going to hold up for the camera there. I'm the green guy with the orange part of the U. So for all the people watching on YouTube here, you get to enjoy this wonderful image here of shirtless and painted up me is 18-year-old in college. And so, yeah, we got this picture here of us actually at the game. Kind of mean mugging at the camera.
Wait, show me that one. I think that's the one I saw.
Yeah, I think this is the one I probably showed around here.
That is the one I've seen.
Yeah, I'm in the best looking shape in that one. That's why I showed it around.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it took about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes to put all that paint on. A good 90 minutes of scrubbing in the shower to get it off. That was a one-time thing. You know what it was? Because we were talking about how the crowd will always, like, the camera always cut shots. I think that's what you said they're called. Cutaways. To sad fans in the stands who are all dressed up after a loss. And it's like, could you imagine, like, having to drive home with all your gear on after a loss? And would you ever do that, blah, blah, blah? And it's like, ooh, I did that. Miami won that night. So, it wasn't I did
a Super Bowl at Joe Robbie Stadium. And I remember I was on the field and I was doing my stand-up. I was doing whatever it was that I was doing after the game, a post-game wrap. And then this thunder shower, it was sunny. It was nice out. Like out of nowhere, before I could even just walk to where, say, you were, because my cameraman had an umbrella, I was dripping wet. It was like literally someone just, I stepped under a shower. In Florida, there's no forewarning. You could literally, like here, first of all, it's going to rain, and usually it's drizzling, and you can anticipate. It can be a bit of a crescendo, but you can find or seek cover.
Yeah.
In Florida, it literally is just like somebody just turns on a faucet, and you have no time to react. It's like rain cloud, I'm wet. It's intense.
No, sometimes you got
summers in Miami, but correct me if I'm wrong, or in Florida, everyone gets the hell out.
Oh, yeah. Well, the humidity sucks. Like, you walk outside and I always say you can quench your thirst on the air. And, like, the rain is so bad. Like, you have to pull over. If you're on the freeway, you got to pull over because, like,
it's like hail.
I'm driving and you're the car in front of me. I can't see you, Dan.
Yeah.
Like, and you're sitting, 5.5 feet away from me. Like, yeah, that's not safe.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it gets so bad. So, this right now, outside, yeah, that's what summer should be like.
You know
every
what
year.
This is, Sam? This is called the Mediterranean. It's like this sort of year round.
Yeah, this is what prompts Mark Twain to say things like cold winters, summers in San Francisco, and yada 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 yada. Speaking of yada 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 yada,
coldest winter I ever spent was the summer in San Francisco.
Exactly, that's the line. Anyway, speaking of yada yada yada, we've been talking about a guy who did a lot of yada 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 over the years. And that's Mike Krukow, and he's announcing that he's retiring at the end of the year. And this show, again, has been a lot about nostalgia today. Mike Krukow is calling it a career, so I want to kind of honor his career. Again, he's still got the rest of the season left. And the Giants are also inducting 5 new players onto the Wall of Fame today. Pablo Sandoval, Joe Panik, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, and Buster Posey. Talk about those guys in a moment. I do want to share because last, Thursday afternoon and into Friday morning, Dan, we had a bunch of people call in and share their own Mike Krukow stories. And 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text. If you got a Mike Krukow story or thought on Krukow or just want to say, hey, shout you out, something like that, give us a call. We love to hear you. Or if you want to talk about the guys going on the Wall of Fame today, this next hour, whatever you want to talk about, we'll hear it regarding the Giants. We did have John Miller join the afternoon show, Will and Dibs, as we already played Risotto's Fleming impersonation they did for John. Here's John Miller's Mike Krukow story.
One thing is for sure, his legacy for Mike Krukow is very secure and one of a kind. And one of the stories that I always think of, and I wasn't there, but he and his family, and I don't know how many of the kids, they were in a restaurant, a great San Francisco restaurant, and when they got up to leave, the people in the restaurant all started shouting his name, and then he stopped and acknowledged everybody, and then he led them in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Who could do that? It's Mike Krukow, and they all sang, and he because he's inspiring, and he makes you excited to be a Giants fan and to live in this city. So he's a great ambassador, not just for the game and the team, but the city and this area. So anyway, so that's that's a part of the legend of Kruk.
Love that there. I think
Did he grow up in L.A.? Was he?
Yeah, he's a SoCal guy. He grew up a Dodger fan.
Yeah. Well, I know he's SLO now, San Luis Obispo, but was it San Luis Obispo? Did he settle in San Luis Obispo?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think you're right. I think he was Los Angeles area.
Yeah,
and
but
then eventually.
He was a SoCal guy growing up, and unfortunately, he rooted for the blue team, but he converted. But I do think it's ironic how, one of the greatest broadcasters in Giants history started off a Dodger fan. The greatest broadcaster in Dodger history, Vin Scully, started off a Giants fan. Funny how that all works out there. This is also another one of my favorite Krukow moments here.
Meanwhile, out on the boardwalk, guy's got a heater going. Yeah, playing catch, having a schmag.
One thing John said there is, Mike Krukow, he made being a Giants fan fun. Yeah. And he really did. That's why, even on his boring broadcasts, he always found a way to make the games fun and entertaining and make you laugh. Whether it was eliminating guys, making fun of fans. I remember, I forget what they were doing, but my dad and I were watching a game, and they're just making fun of these two fans sitting around, and we're just like, oh my God, guys, this is ridiculous. We're just cracking up as this nothing game is happening in the background.
Wow. The thing about him is that while he was funny, and he did all of these things in terms of all the funny things that he did, but he was so credible as far as being an analyst, and he was so good, and he was so insightful. And I don't say this about I'm overly critical when it comes to these guys, but I would listen to Kruk, and he's always going to tell you. I mean, you would think at some point, he's must have said everything at this point, but there's always a nugget or two that I was like, I had no idea.
He's got a line for everything, and it's We're going to hear a story from Dave Fleming in a minute. He's always got a quip.
You know what I love is because obviously he could see it from the pitcher's perspective, but he always had great insight for catchers. Like he always could feel the pain of the catcher, whatever it is. Like he knew catchers intimately well as umpires. For some reason, he did his homework on umpires. He really knew.
Yeah, I was about to get there too. Yep.
About their tendencies, strike zones. You know, obviously a lot of that's been removed from their repertoire now with ABS. But just, you know, aside from all the humor and the fun stuff, just in terms of the nuts and bolts and the meat and potatoes, he was incredible as far as telling you the game.
What was that, Rizzo?
You mentioned catching. Mike Krukow in 1970, he did not sign, but he was originally drafted as a catcher.
See, that makes sense. But
I think it's a good point. It's the blend of the humor, but the knowledge that he brought as well. And again, Dan, I talked about how, you know, why I'm here and the inspiration that he was. Like, yeah, I like to, you know, try and be funny when I'm on the air, and sometimes I am. I don't know, maybe if I'm not ever. But, you know, I do try to mix that in with, you know, as much real insight, because I do think that's a fun balance to do. If you can be the guy that can make people laugh, but also like, oh, that's really interesting. And it's hard to do. I don't know if I do it or not. I'm not going to sit here and toot my horn and say I am this. I like to let the audience decide. And that's where, again, I wait for someone to call and say, shut up, Sam, you're an idiot. No one's done it yet. So I guess we're doing good so far. You asked an interesting question last segment. Who could possibly replace Mike Krukow? I didn't want to get into it, but now he's on the line. The man of the hour.
Oh, about time.
The great Steven Ruderman. He's awake. Courtesy of the River Islands guest line. Steven, how you doing this morning, man?
Hey, guys. I'm not going to lie. The Krukow news hit me. You know, my entire life as a baseball fan, going back to 2001, I have not known Giants baseball without Mike Krukow. Steven Risotto and I were talking about it just a minute ago, how same thing with him. Now, yes, we've gotten somewhat used to it with Mike not doing a lot of road games, but, you know, with him not being there at all, it's gonna be very, very different. Now, funny thing about Mike Krukow growing up a Dodger fan, my dad grew up a Dodger fan.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Rick, say it ain't so.
Well, in 1978, he had been going to Cal. He went to Cal, and he had been in Berkeley for 7 years by 1978, and he changed his allegiance.
Oh, good to hear.
Come on, Sam, you know this.
I know, I'm just playing along with it here. But anyway, you're waxing poetic about Mike Krukow. Continue.
Well, the thing is with announcers, and I say this as someone who, of course, wants to be an announcer, and who has announced 2 college games. It's like you form a friendship with your listeners, with your city, with your region. And even though I have had very few actual interactions with Mike, I've always felt like I have known him personally just because his voice, same with Dwayne, same with John, same with Dave, because their voices have been I've long been a part of my life. I've listened to them so much that I feel like I know them personally. And part of being a broadcaster is forming that relationship. And yes, you could say it's a parasocial relationship, which, well, yes, it is, with the people of your city, of your community, of your region. Mike Krukow is also a very good man. I want to talk about one of the first times I was in the press box in 2015 when the Giants were in Denver. I was writing for a site called Bay Sportsnet. It's no longer there. And, I was the awkward 20, soon to be 21-year-old kid in the press dining room. And Mike let me sit at the table with him and Tracy Ringlesby. Now, if anyone knows who Tracy Ringlesby is, he's a Hall of Fame writer. And we were having a conversation, and Mike treated me and looked at me as an equal to Tracy Ringlesby. And I will never forget that. I will always be grateful for that. And as I said, this is tough. This is a big part of what remains of my childhood dying, essentially, with Mike being gone.
No, it's hard not to feel the emotion of just kind of like, again, as we're honoring 5 World Series legends today, it's tough because I think it's well said, Steven. The Giants that we knew and loved growing up with and that we watched during that dynasty heyday, we're seeing it just get further and further in that rearview mirror. And while it's awesome that those events happened, it is tough seeing, more time kind of, happen between now and those moments of the past. But again, speaking on Kruk and Kipe, and I do say Kruk and Kipe, even though Kruko is the one who is retiring, because I don't think there is a call out there. Like if you say your favorite Mike Kruko call, Dwayne Kuiper's a part of it. They are just so synonymous together, Steven. And just what did you love the most about the chemistry and banter that those two had in the broadcast booth?
That it's sincere and that they are two real friends, and not just real friends, but two very close friends in real life. There was nothing ever phony about their chemistry. They're like an old married couple. There are people who are just joined at the hip, if you say, and even if they're not actually married, but just they've been such great friends for a long time, they're joined in the hip. And Dwayne and Mike are that way. There's never been anything phony about their friendship, about their chemistry on the air. And it's something that I have always sincerely appreciated from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. Is there a moment, a call, a line that they had that you always kind of that stuck out to you that you always liked? And I got to ask also, when you've ever broadcasted a game, have you ever dropped a Krukoism line in one of your broadcasts yet?
I don't know if there's a specific moment for Kruko. The thing is with Mike, a lot of people in various different professions, announcing is one of them, will peak and then not be as good as they get older. You listen to Mike now, and you listen to Mike in 1993. He's just had a flat line at the top. He's just always been great. He's never lost a step. And actually, maybe that's why he's retiring. I can only speculate here. I can't get inside his head, but I could imagine he might be thinking, hey, no better way to go out than on top, not be one of those guys who sticks around too long. So I can't really think of any favorite moment in particular of Mike, just because there are so many great moments, and he's been the same man for the last 36 years. Now, in terms of Krukoisms, I don't know if I've ever dropped one on the air, but I will say "atta babe" a lot, and just in my social circles, and so I was like "atta babe."
I like that. Yeah, I was like gamer. Grab some pie meat. Anything on the guys getting on the Wall of Fame today, Steven?
Well, as you mentioned, much better time of Giants baseball, and 5 great players who, it's interesting. The Giants Wall of Fame, was first unveiled in September of 2008, part of the 50th anniversary celebration in San Francisco. And when, some of these guys, I don't think Panic had even been drafted yet. And here we are 18 years later. Pablo had just been called up. And it was about a few days or so after the weird play that he had at the plate in L.A., which was how he got the nickname, the Kung Fu Panda. And now here they are, 18 years later, all going onto the Wall of Fame. So those are my thoughts on that. That they are celebrating 5 incredible players. Yeah, Buster was just drafted that June, that they're now celebrating these 5 incredible players. It's going to be an incredible ceremony. And I unfortunately, I'm not going to be there today, but Sam, I imagine you are, and I imagine it's going to stir up a lot of emotions and a lot of memories.
Ruben, what's the replay this week?
What is the replay
Cut to the chase.
This is what Dan's been waiting for all morning, Steven. He wants to hear one of your calls from the week.
All right, we'll do Willie Adams' home run, or better yet. All right, here's the pitch. There's a swing and a high fly ball along the right field line. Lee coming over. He's going to trickle the foul territory. He's going to make the catch. He's going to throw home. And McKinstry, who was tagging, is going to turn around and scurry back to third. Wise decision on his part. Lee has an absolute cannon, and he would have been dead meat at the plate. All right, here's the pitch, swinging a high fly ball along the right field line, almost to the same exact spot. Lee coming over. He's going to make the catch in foul territory. McKinstry will bluff, but he knows better as Lee's throw will actually be somewhat offline. Perhaps McKinstry would have had a shot, but after what happened just a minute ago, I think McKinstry is thinking, no thanks.
That's good. Two good plays to call right there. I actually asked Tony about those throws last night.
Jung Hoo Lee's second throw was kind of weird.
I heard you.
Yeah.
He kind of threw it off balance. It was almost like an infielder. It's like his second throw was about expediency. He was trying to get it there quickly.
Yeah, but again, both times kept McKinstry from scoring, and that was a great defense there. Ruderman, I'm trying to bang on the table and get Jung Hoo Lee some Gold Glove cred. The metrics don't really like him. Am I on a losing errand there saying that he should be a Gold Glove candidate? I don't know if he wins it, but he should be a candidate. How do you view him, his defense in that regard?
Well, screw the metrics.
Hell yeah.
I think he's up there, and I do want to say I am very happy that the Giants held on to him. I think he is someone that is a keeper. I mean, he's got the opt out after next year. His contract ends after 2029. He is the kind of guy who I think should be in your future plans. He's just a great player, not just a great defender, great overall hitter. And I hope the Giants find a way to keep him long term. I really do.
Steven, before we let you go here, this is Steven Ruderman here. You can catch him Sports Radio Service. That's where you can see his work. He's also called some Cal baseball games. Dan and I were talking earlier about the trading at Elliot Ramos. I kind of get it. You need to restock your depth. You're dealing from a position where you got a little bit of outfield depth. Dan wasn't really for it. How did you feel about that Elliot Ramos trade?
Mixed emotions. Elliot Ramos has been a great Giant, and he is someone who is just got a great attitude, someone who just busts it all every day when he's at the park. But at the same time, this is the business of baseball. Giants do have a lot of prospects, particularly outfielders, and unfortunately, sometimes room needs to be made, and Elliot Ramos, he was in that position, and he gets to go to the Yankees. So
Ruderman, room for who?
Room for guys like Dakota Jordan, Bo Davidson, Drew Gilbert, perhaps, because I do believe that there is.
So, in other words, you're willing to give up an established outfielder, young, under team control, an all-star who can proven he can do damage for guys like 4 or 5 guys who maybe at some point will be as good as he is.
Somewhat then, but also the prospects that we got in return for him. It is, hopefully if the Giants can develop these guys well, it will be worth it in the long run.
All right.
There you go, Steven Ruderman.
When are you going to come in studio?
Maybe next Saturday. Would that work for you guys?
Yeah, we could work that out.
Alrighty.
Not maybe. Yay! We're going to tease it all week.
You know what, Steven? If you got to crash in my place to make it happen, we'll accommodate.
We'll do it, baby.
There we go. We're locked in. All right. Thanks for waking up and calling into us, Steven.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. That was Steven Ruderman there on the River Islands guest line, talking Giants baseball. He's a weekly staple on the show. Again, check out his stuff at Sports Radio Service. Also, check out his little podcast, The Insomniac Lunatic Fringe.
Do you guys want some news real quick?
I do want some news because I did see some news break while he had Steven on. I'm curious if it's the same news that I saw.
Is it football related?
It is football related. Again, third show in a row. Niners have to inject themselves into the conversation.
There is also one baseball related. Then I'll let you take the football related one. This is more so in the baseball world. Today's Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium, and there's one member who cannot be there, and he wrote a letter as to why he cannot be there, and it's kind of a goodbye letter to the public. Apparently, Tommy John is battling some health issues, and kind of wrote a letter and basically said goodbye to his family and the public. And
I don't like that.
83 years old, so he won't be able to make it, and it seems like we'll probably get news on that probably in the near future.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
I kind of associate him with the Dodgers more than I do the Yankees.
I mean, I associate him with elbows.
Well,
yeah. I mean, that's his legacy. I mean, it's a surgery named after him that saved numerous careers. So, and then the Niner news, again, third week in a row, the Niners going to interrupt the show, though this is more of a somber note. I guess during his Hall of Fame speech, Roger Craig, who's getting inducted today, announced that he is suffering from vascular dementia. So again, he's just turned 66. We'll read the rest of the story during the break. But
what is that?
I am not really sure. I mean, dementia, obviously, of the brain is when you kind of start to forget stuff. I watched my grandfather go through it. My grandma had Alzheimer's, which is even way worse. It's just, your mind starts to go there.
CTE football related? I mean, sorry that the mind's going
I don't know. So I'll take a look at this. We'll have some more details on the other side. But, that's very unfortunate. So the story's going to be updated. So not a whole lot of information on it now, but I guess he delivered his remarks on a pre-recorded video. So very sad to hear that there. Bittersweet. It's great to see Roger Craig get his due in the Hall. Unfortunately, to have this, for him to share this news in this moment. That's tough there. So on the other side, we will wrap up the show. Dave Fleming has a Mike Krukow story that you want to hear, and we'll play some other Mike Krukow cuts, and also we'll play some highlights from the 5 guys getting thrown on the Wall of Fame today. So how are we going to squeeze that in a half hour? I'll show you how on the other side. Brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Hey, it's Willard for Sierra Nevada. Embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. If you saw the headliner when they played at the bar or stopped your friends mid-festival to look at the stars, if you're up for whatever the night brings, then embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing. Hazy, citrusy, smooth. Come find them during Outside Lands at the Hazy Little Hideaway. Bring your friends and get a taste of the moments that matter. Embrace the haze with Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing. Enjoy responsibly.
Think you've got baseball figured out? Put your predictions to work on Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market and official partner of Major League Baseball. Trade on who's winning the division or taking home the Cy Young or MVP and who wins it all in October. As every game changes the season, the markets move too, creating new opportunities to trade. You're trading against other fans, not the house. Download the Polymarket app today and use promo code BLAZE to unlock $20 free for your first trade. That's promo code BLAZE.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
FlexCar, we know radio ads are annoying, but not as annoying as car salesmen.
Sign here, please.
Never talk to one again with FlexCar, the first and only month-to-month car lease.
No, submit to my extortion machine.
Insurance and maintenance included. Switch cars anytime.
Switching Bronco to Camry to tell you ride willy-nilly. Oh, no.
Oh, yes. FlexCar. You drive everything. What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this. What if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Don't miss Built Like a Baller every Friday as the Morning Roast breaks down the standout performance of the week.
Burton a heave at the horn from 28. Banks it in!
Brought to you by Baylor, wealth management for the Bay and the people who've built it.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Bay Area, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
If life is a game to be won, then every child deserves to play on a level field. Children International is empowering young people in poverty on their journey by giving them the tools, the training, and the skills to shape their own futures. From the early days of development through all stages of growth and into employment. This is how, together, we can help end poverty for good. Learn more at children.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Make every swing count. Join Pettinelli Financial Partners for the 11th annual charity golf tournament benefiting the Autism Society San Francisco Bay Area. Register your foursome or become a sponsor today at PettinelliFP.com.
Now back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, I might need to get your back stretches after the show today, Dan. Oh, final stretch here of the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. It's Nostalgia Day on the wrap here. 888-957-9570. Mike Krukow. When I say Mike Krukow, what do you think? Also, 5 World Series legends are going on the Wall of Fame today. Pablo Sandoval, Joe Panik, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, Buster Posey. We'll talk about those guys in just a minute. Do want to throw some other Mike Krukow stories out there, such as Dan. We had Dave Fleming on the morning roast yesterday, and we asked, hey, Dave, what's your Krukow story? This was Dave Fleming's kind of welcome to the major leagues moment that Mike Krukow delivered for him.
My favorite one, I've told this story before, but it was my first year. We're in Miami. We're staying at a hotel by the beach. And there were these beach volleyball courts out in front of the hotel. And I'm 26 at this point, or whatever I am. And these guys have been doing it for 15 years. And I get on the bus. We're going to go to Joe Robbie Stadium, or whatever they called it back then. And I get on the bus to go to the game. And I bounce on with my enthusiasm and, whatever. And I look right, I'm sitting in the row in front of Mike. And I turn around on my bus seat like the kid, turns around, and I'm holding my hands on the headrest of the bus seat. And I turn around and I say to Mike, hey, there's beach volleyball courts out front. So, if we want to get a sweat or, get a workout, that might be a fun way to do a workout. And he looks me right in the eye. This was my moment of knowing what it was like to be a Krukow kid at times. He looks me right in the eye and goes, Dave, this isn't effing summer camp. and he said it in front of everybody's there listening. And I was like, oh, okay. And I turned around, I just kind of slinked back down. And we've used that line a million times since then. This isn't camp. This is the big leagues. We're here to do a job. Okay. Point taken.
That's just what makes Mike Krukow so special. It's just there's always a line for something there, Dan.
You're making him obnoxious. Hey, did you, as a Miamian or somebody who hung out, where was Coral Gables?
It's south of downtown Miami.
So how often would you or locals go on South Beach? Is it kind of like Hawaii to Waikiki, kind of San Francisco to Fisherman's Wharf? Like you never tread down that if you're local?
Nah, I wasn't a big spender of time down in South Beach. I mean, it's an expensive area. And yeah, it is very touristy. If we were to do a beach day, we would go down to Crandon Park, which is on Key Biscayne.
Ooh.
So that's like
Key Biscayne's on an island?
It's kind of an island. I mean, there's the bridge that goes out. So yeah, it's an island.
Okay. Well, what do they call those? The
Florida Keys.
Causeways?
Yeah, the causeways. Yeah, the bridges that get over it. So the MacArthur Causeway is the one that goes from downtown Miami into South Beach. Fun fact, MacArthur Causeway, I don't know if you've ever seen Bad Boys 2. They had that big car chase accident scene. That's the MacArthur Causeway. They shut it down for, 2 weeks to film that scene. When I would just imagine if we didn't have the Bay Bridge for 2 weeks, what traffic, that's what that happened there. But no, so there's, another set of beaches that are south of South Beach. That's kind of where the locals would go
What's the island where Madonna and all the really wealthy people live? There's the island.
I almost said a answer to that I'm glad I didn't when it came to islands, but I don't know. There's a lot of islands.
Vista? No, that's in Santa Barbara. There's an island where I'll look it up.
Yeah,
there's an island where all the Miamians, all the people with money live.
Star Island.
Star Island. Is that right? Doesn't sound right.
I'm pretty sure it's Star Island. Yeah, that's where all. Yeah, there's you can only get there by boat. All the houses are stupid big. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Star Island. Is what that one's called there.
You're right. You're right. That is it.
Yeah, no, that is where the people with stupid money live, and that it's stupid how much money they have here. Really quick, again, more Mike Krukow stuff, and we loved him on the broadcast, Dan. But where Mike Krukow really shined, again, as John Miller kind of mentioned in the cut we played earlier, he made it fun to be a Giants fan. I don't think there was any more moment that was more fun to be a Giants fan, for me at least, than that 2010 World Series parade. I remember, the only person I asked permission from at school to skip school was my football coach. Hey, coach, if I don't go to school, can I still practice? Yeah, that's fine. Whatever, go. Told all my teachers, I will not be in tomorrow. Coach, hey, coach, is it cool if I go? That was how I did that. But one of the truly great days in the city. It was warm. It was a warm November day. The air reeked of marijuana because the prop that was going to legalize marijuana just failed the day before, so everyone was celebrating by smoking weed at the Giants World Series parade. And Mike Krukow took the stage and dropped one of the all-time bangers of speeches.
How great was that parade? I know everybody up here felt it, and I know you felt it. And everybody here today, you are standing here and you are not standing alone. You are standing with the person that taught you the great story of the San Francisco Giants, whether it be your dad or your mom or a friend or your sister or your grandpa. They taught you right. They taught you had to be loyal. You had to love your team. And to a man on this team, this 2010 team, to a man back in August, they plugged into you. And you fueled and energized this group all the way through a crazy month of September and into what is an epic month of October and what is one glorious day in November. And you have but one responsibility. And you owe it to the person that taught you the good book, San Francisco Giants. You need to pass this story on. Keep this love alive. And when you tell the story, simply tell them, we're the Giants, we're San Francisco, and we're the world champions.
I still get the goosebumps. I still do. I mean, he makes being a Giants fan almost a religious experience, which for me it is. After this show's over, I'm going to go down to my church and I'm going to watch more Giants baseball. That is, I always say, Oracle Park is my favorite place in the world. It's stuff like that. Mike Krukow paints that emotion so well there.
I think you may have referenced this earlier. It's not like the World Series victories. It's not like the wins, but it could be a blowout or it could be an average game, and he made it interesting.
He really did.
And that's because when you have a personality like that, you'll just tune in once again to hear what it is he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the game is secondary, and you just want to hear two guys hashing it out. And there's very, very, very few broadcasters who have that sort of pull, and he was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Kipe, because you can't put, if it's Pence.
It's going to be tough. Maybe his brother Glenn Kuiper will be on there. He'll have the Kuiper brothers calling games, but I
don't think that's going to
it's never going to sound the same.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's going to sound bad.
I'd rather see his son than his brother. Seriously, Cole. I think that'd be. It could
be an interesting match there. Yeah. I think Hunter's done a really good job. Again, it's. I can't even get to that point of thinking who replaces him. Maybe it's Hunter. Maybe it's Javi. Who knows? Maybe they bring Rich Waltz back. I like
Would
Rich
Hunter
Waltz.
even want to do
Waltz?
it? Would Hunter even want to do it? Because I feel like it's kind of like coaching where you have to commit to 162 games. Maybe not
He's
that many games.
He's got the Apple TV gig, too.
But Hunter also is higher profile. He does a bunch of other stuff, like celebrity-esque stuff.
Yeah, but I think during the baseball season, he's pretty committed to this.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
Rich Waltz, say Dan Devone. He used to be one of my. He stopped me once and said, "I could never do what you do," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I could never, because I was the sports anchor. He's like, I've tried. He's like, I could never. He had the biggest praise for me. I was like, well, and he was doing play-by-play, I think, with the Marlins at the time?
He was the Marlins for a while, and then the Giants brought him in for a season, and it was just like, at first, like, who is this guy? And then it's like, you know what? I kind of vibe with Rich Waltz.
Is he still doing it?
I think so. I think he's still at the Marlins, right?
No, he's not with the Marlins. He still does. He was actually, Derek Jeter fired him, but he actually.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, he actually does like those little like national games on.
Okay.
He might still do Apple, but he also might do like Tubi or whatever, some of those national games.
But I think he's a play-by-play guy. He wasn't a color guy. So
No,
play-by-play.
Is Katie Nolan still doing stuff?
No.
Good.
Whoa. Okay.
No, she just wasn't good.
Okay. I like Katie Nolan. I met her. She was fun to talk with.
You know, she's good. She's got to pick her lane.
I think she's more talk showy than she is behind the mic during the game.
I guess the whole thing is there's so many guys. Like we just met one today. We meet a lot. Is he in the booth again? There's a lot of aspiring play-by-play guys who are putting their time. Our Evan Giddings, man, how many games does that guy?
Steven Ruderman,
Ruderman going out and doing whatever it is, and then someone like that because she's cute and funny.
Well, no, it's because she drank those 7 beers that one time.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
Actually, I actually asked her about that, and she gets asked about it a lot, and I was talking to her. And
that was a beer an inning, right? Or
no, so because Madison Bumgarner in the 2014 playoffs would always
done a few things. With
he would drink all the beers at once. She's like, that's not how you do it. And so she did the whole thing where she drank 7 beers at once, one at a time, basically. And she's like, yeah, we did that in the middle of the day. That was a big mistake.
She's a bartender.
Yeah. No, she's a fun person to chat with.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you can't do play-by-play. That's not fair.
It's tough. Color is, I think it's better when it's a former player doing color. I think that's what you look for.
When you skip the front of the line, that's just what gets me. Same with Collinsworth's kid.
Oh, yeah, Jack.
He's doing Notre Dame games all of a sudden.
Ask Joe Shasky about Jack Collinsworth and then just scrap out the next 3 hours of your day because you're going to be hearing some opinions there. Really quick for you on the show again, I've been mentioning the 5 World Series heroes that are getting inducted into the Giants Wall of Fame today, and this group more or less kind of wraps up the big names from that championship era. The starting pitchers are already on the wall. Bumgarner, Kane, Lincecum, they're on the wall there. The core 4 in the bullpen are on the wall. Jeremy Affeldt, Sergio Romo, Javi Lopez, Santiago Casilla. Brian Wilson is on the board now, is on the wall now. And today will be the infield. Pablo, the Brandons, Buster, and Joe Panik. And I collected some just the best highlights that I think of when I think of these players. Like, for Brandon Belt, and again, I love Brandon Belt. He very much frustrated me as a player, but he's got a day now. And I think somewhere in the system, I got him talking about, I got my day now, so Giants fans have to like me. So, tough titty for all those guys who don't like me. I love that he said that. But there was this moment here against the Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
Belt with a drive, hammered to deep right field, and that one is gone! Brandon Belt had been quiet tonight, held 0 for 6.
And then again, that was in the 18th inning of the division series against the Nationals, game 2. They gave the Giants a 2-0 lead. I was in Miami for that one.
Talk about a no-doubter.
We were supposed to go out that night to go to South Beach, to go clubbing and stuff like that. And the whole plan was after the Giants game, I'll go with you guys. And so extra innings come around, like, hey, we're leaving. I'm like, okay, bye. I'm locked in here. I'm not leaving this game. And Yusmeiro Petit does his thing that night, goes 6 shutout innings, and the entire time I'm convinced any moment's going to be disaster. And then Brandon Belt did that moment, and it was just one of the cleanest backdrops you'll ever see. And that was the Brandon Belt moment for me, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, remember Brandon Belt when he would get in that zone where he would square up like everything for about 2 weeks straight?
Yeah, I remember there was a moment in 2013. I was watching him. This was early in the season. It was a national game, so I was able to watch him. And he's in the batter's box. And I'm just looking at him like, oh my God, that guy just looks so locked in right now. I think he's about to go deep. Next pitch, boom, into the arcade. And it's just, that's the thing about Brandon Belt is you knew the talent and the ability was there. The consistency to harness it, though, was not. And every time he got on a hot streak, he would get hurt. And when he came back from being injured, it was so hard for him to get it going again. I think that frustrated so many Giants fans. I think that 2021 season perfectly embodied the Brandon Belt experience where you finally saw it all come together. He had the 29 home runs, had a career year. Then he gets hit by a pitch in Colorado, breaks his hand. And I honestly believe that if that had not happened, one, he would have ended the 30 home run drought, which I always thought that was him. He needed to do that. Giants also beat the Dodgers in the NLDS that year if he was available. And that's the Brandon Belt career in a nutshell. A lot of good on the field, but a lot that happened that made you wanting more, and that is why we had the Belt Wars. And
I think he also suffered from post-Buster Posey syndrome because he was the next guy right after Buster Posey. And Posey was just so unusual for a guy sort of like Bryce Eldridge, but he was Bryce Eldridge X10. And then here comes Brandon Belt.
He was expected to be the next guy.
Well, you're going to be the next Posey, right?
Everyone was putting him on their Rookie of the Year watch lists in 2011.
And he was a good baseball player.
He was a good Giant. Listen, if you strip away the awards and the logos and all that stuff and just look at the back of his baseball card or his baseball reference page, yeah, he's probably an average player. But he was a really good Giant. He was a starting first base for 2 World Championship teams.
Defensive.
Very underrated defender, and that's why I love to laugh at all those losers in the Belt Wars who wouldn't appreciate his how good of a Giant he was. So, as Brandon Belt said, tough titty. Joe Panik and Brandon Crawford, I'll partner them up in this one here because, this moment might be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, double play in World Series history.
Here's one up the middle. Unbelievable diving play by Joe Panik to take a hit away and almost get 2. And this certainly looks like it will be the first successful manager challenge in World Series history. It will belong to Bruce Bochy. Right calls made. Hosmer knew it.
And Jeremy Affeldt was on the mound for that one. We actually talked to him a little bit, and he joked that, Brandon Crawford owes him a tip for that double play because Affeldt threw the ball. But yeah, Dan, I remember watching that in real time, and that was an intense Game 7. And when Hosmer slid in, it's like, I think we have a chance here, and the longest replay ever. And it's such an incredible play, a perfect flip, a perfect throw, and obviously they got the double play, and the Royals just were screwed.
I was a Panik guy. I love Panik. Panik just had a good demeanor about him, Just sort of, and the fact that he was where he was from, Pasta, New York City. You don't have a lot of St. John's guys playing in Major League Baseball.
Rich, really? Yeah. Oh, I got somewhere in here.
Was it really a St. John's?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, along with Chris Mullin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's about it, though. So yeah, St. John's in the Bay Area, man. That's how we do it. I always had the. I don't know if you ever saw Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell. Yeah. There's a moment where the bear gets loose, and I have the drop somewhere in the system, not readily accessible. The bear gets loose in the arena, and Will Ferrell's Jackie Moon is like, "Everybody panic!" I love using that gif whenever Joe Panik did something good. By the way, his double play partner in that one, Brandon Crawford. I remember in 2016, Dan. This was of all people, Ross Stripling's first career start. Took a no hitter in the 8th inning. He was taking out Todd Green, was it, Steven, who broke up that no hitter that night?
Todd Green played long before Brandon.
I'm thinking of a different catcher, backup catcher. You said it to me yesterday. I'm spacing. Who was it that broke up that Stripling no-hitter?
Trevor Brown. That's who it was.
That's who. I get all these backup catchers mixed out. There it is. Trevor Brown broke up the no-hitter, ties it up, goes extras. Brandon Crawford comes up the 10th inning on this cold, foggy April night, Giants-Dodgers in 2016, and he did this.
A hit well to left field. Back. Still going back. Goodbye and good night. Brandon Crawford has ended it. An opposite field home run. An electrifying moment to end a long night. The Giants on 2 hits beat LA in 10, 3-2.
Again, the first hit was the Trevor Brown hit that ended the no-no, and then that was hit number 2. And that was like one of Dave Roberts' first games. And that was that moment Dan was like, it's another even year. Giants are going to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of it after that.
Sort of what it is you said about Grant McCray. It sort of was the tag on Crawford when he first came up. Like, if this guy could hit a little bit, he's going to be something else. And then obviously the hitting came around. But it's this defense that you knew you were going to miss it because it was never going to be the same. And that's sort of, Adames is okay, but whoever it is that you put out there at shortstop will always be compared to Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
And Crawford was just so steady. Wasn't really flashy. Didn't go in the hole and jump in the air and twist like Derek Jeter. he wasn't no more of a skill, but just everything was automatic. Like you never had any doubt about that.
And he always played too.
Always.
The thing about like Crawford, the mistakes he made on the field, the errors that he made were always on plays that an average shortstop isn't even going to be close on. Like that's just how good he was. He was so good that when he failed in moments that no other shortstop would even be close to that. So like, how can you even get really all that mad? Like I remember in the 2012 World Series, I always felt like that was his coming out party defensively. Because in game 3 and 4 of that series, I think especially game 3, some of the diving plays that he made to take away hits from that Detroit Tigers team, I remember thinking like, this guy's on the national stage showing everybody just how incredible his like we've been watching this guy for the last couple of years be incredible with the glove. And I just remember feeling so happy in that moment because like now everybody is seeing what we've been seeing. It's like when the world started to see how good Steph was on the national stage, not saying that Brandon and Steph are the same, but seeing Crawford's defense get nationally recognized was so fun to see, and see him to go from Giants fan growing up to probably the greatest shortstop in the organization's 140-plus year history. I mean, he lived the dream as a Giants fan that we've all wanted to be there. Speaking of the 2012 World Series, Pablo Sandoval's getting on the wall today. And, of course, you know what 2012 highlight we're playing from him.
Wasn't activated until the third week of August. Into center. At the wall. Another. Pablo Sandoval with a 3-homer game in World Series game number 1.
So that was the number 3rd one off of Phil Koch. I believe it was the 7th inning he hit that one. Obviously, there's the 2 that came before it against Verlander. And the second one is always my favorite because that's the one where the pitching coach went out to talk to Justin Verlander. And he's like, hey, Justin, don't screw up. And just like, come on, let me get this guy. Next pitch, boom, gone. And that's when he got that famous, wow gif from Verlander.
Oh, Pablo. Miss Pablo. A lot of character.
We can't play it, but the radio call of that, John Miller said, and Pablo Sandoval looks like the babe himself has come back to life. Wow.
All right, we're going to wrap this up here because we're going to blow through our heart out here. It's whatever, because we do have to play, which is my favorite Buster Posey moment. It's this one right here.
Posey, deep left field. That is way back, and a grand slam for Buster Posey. The Giants break it wide open as Posey goes way out.
Who's that? Was that B.A. Pasa on the call?
That's B.A. on the call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was Game 5 of the 2012 NLDS against the Reds. And I know exactly where I was for that moment. It's one of my favorite Giants memories ever. I was at the University of Miami. It was my sophomore year. Barack Obama was coming to campus that day because it was in the middle of the campaign. Florida's a swing state. And so he's speaking at the basketball arena, the Bank United Center. And if it's a Game 5 of playoff series, I'm going to watch. There's very few things that will peel me away from that.
Where Florida's a swing state?
This is in 2012.
Oh.
It was a swing state in 2012. Florida went blue in 2012.
Did it?
Yeah,
really?
I helped that happen. Yes, I help Barry win Florida. But so Barack's talking at the Bank United Center, and that's one of the few things that peel me away from a Giants playoff game. I got to see, President Barack talk. And so we go, and I'm watching the game on my, the game day on my phone, not on TV, just I'm following the game day along. And the problem was in the bowl of the stadium, the service was awful. So I had to go out into the concourse if I wanted to get good service to actually see what was going on. So I'm watching this inning build up. They're getting guys on base. A friend of mine, I had a seat saved. A friend of mine yells, oh, hey, Lubman, get back in here. It's about to start. I'm like, crap, something's about to happen here. And so I go into the arena. We're waiting for, Obama to come out. They got like the pre-speakers or whatever. Bases are loaded. Buster comes up, and they're about to do the anthem. And I'm watching the game day, and then all I see, in play runs. I'm like, all right, something just happened here. And then they say, all right, everyone, please rise for the national anthem. And that is when I saw that Buster hit the grand slam. And so if you're in the arena at that time, because whenever you say, please stand for the national anthem, there's always that pause between everyone standing up and the anthem beginning.
Yeah.
So you hear, please stand for the national anthem. Everyone rises up. And then you just hear faintly, yes! Just interrupt the entire thing.
Homer Simpson in church.
Exactly. And so Buster hits the grand slam. I'm going nuts. We play the anthem. Obama comes out. Phone goes away. I'm going to pay attention to lock in for the president. And that's why that home run's always special for me because I always remember where I was. And so afterwards, president speaks. I go back to my room and then I, agonize through that Jay Bruce at bat in the 9th inning. But that's what I think about with Buster. And I know Buster's pissed a lot of fans off this year. And
was that Matt Latos? Yeah, right.
Yep. Matt Latos, the guy who once wrote "I hate SF" on a baseball. And I know Buster has inroads he needs to make this year, not just with the baseball stuff, but with the Giants fan community as a whole because of the Pride Night stuff and the LGBTQ community. And he does have inroads, and this organization does have inroads they need to do to make up for that night. Not absolving them of that. They are behind the 8 ball on that. It's unfortunate.
Does he get introduced today? He does.
He will be introduced. Sam.
So, Pasta, does he get booed? What's the percentage?
He absolutely does not get booed.
He will not get booed.
He will not get
no
booed.
percentage.
No percentage.
Okay.
No.
And maybe some people might not cheer as loudly. I don't know if anything, but I hope today we can separate it. Again, as I started the show off by saying, if you don't want to do that, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to be honest again. He does, in the organization, they do need to make some inroads with the LGBTQ community here in the city to make up for that whole debacle on Pride Night. Hopefully that does come in time so we can accept the realities where Buster's at right now. But that was my Buster Posey moment. And when I think of Buster, like that's the moment I think of with him. Among many, 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 as I always call him, thank you, Lord Savior Buster Posey. Because that dynasty does not happen without him arriving. The only good thing to come out of Florida State, as I like to say. Right. So, yeah, remember, he played all 9 positions in a game at Florida State.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah, we just kind of ran through all those 5 there. I don't know, Risotto, you said you remember where you were at for that home run.
For the Belt homer, starting with the Belt homer, and then I'll get the Posey one. The Belt homer, I was at home. I watched all 9 innings at home. We went to dinner at Red Robin in San Bruno, which is where I was last night. And we saw
Red Robin, bottomless fries.
Bottomless fries last night, huh? Yeah. So we watched Matt Williams, the manager of the Nationals, get ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Yusmeiro Petit went on, had that big 5-inning run, shutout baseball,
6,
and then
I think.
Got back home, and then Belt hit the homer. But the Posey one, I was in 5th grade. So that's going to age both of you. I was in 5th grade. And
we're so old.
Somebody had come into the classroom and said, Buster Posey hit a grand slam. And I was the big baseball fan of the class. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe they just got the words mixed up. Maybe it wasn't a grand slam. Like they probably just got the verbiage and it was just a homer or something. And then I got back and I saw that it was indeed a grand slam. And it was off Matt Latos, who every Giants fan hated, because Matt Latos wrote signed a baseball for a fan in San Francisco saying, I hate SF.
Yep.
And then he threw a ball over the bleachers and crashed through Dave Fleming's windshield.
Oh, I forgot about that.
His sunroof.
As a Padre?
I totally forgot about that.
As a Padre, Matt Latos destroyed Fleming's sunroof.
Not a big thank you there, Matt. I don't appreciate that.
I gave him the bill.
There you go. We're going through our heart out. Anything you want to add on any of those moments there, Dan? Do you remember where you were for any of those?
Well, I wasn't in the 5th grade, but yeah, no, you guys, I don't want to ruin it by 2 well-detailed stories.
There you go. Anyway, that is our show for today. Shout out to Mike Krukow on an illustrious career. We'll be very much enjoying every game you do for the rest of the season. And again, shout out to our 5 World Series heroes, Pablo, Brandon, Joe, and Buster. Very excited to see you guys get your due today. And those dynasty years, man. This is further and further away. This is what the Warriors are going to be like in 5 to 10 years, by the way.
I'm waiting for it, Sam, so I can go to bed.
All right, you need to go to bed. Anyway, Dodgers suck.
There you go. This is Dan Bone saying so long, everybody. Bye, Felisa.
Later, dudes. Let her rip. Hang 10.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the Warehouse Club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know. Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video only.
Think you've got baseball figured out? Put your predictions to work on Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market and official partner of Major League Baseball. Trade on who's winning the division or taking home the Cy Young or MVP and who wins it all in October. As every game changes the season, the markets move too, creating new opportunities to trade. You're trading against other fans, not the house. Download the Polymarket app today and use promo code BLAZE to unlock $20 free for your first trade. That's promo code BLAZE.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
That's Alina's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
The first ever Infiniti QX65 feels unstoppable. In a world that is frozen in its ways, this sporty fastback SUV never stops moving forward. Turbocharged performance. Intelligent all-wheel drive standard. ProPilot Assist 2.1. This is a ride beyond the expected. This is unstoppable progress. Discover the first ever Infiniti QX65 at InfinityUSA.com. 2027 QX65 expected early summer 2026.
Yeah, Dan Dibley here for Fremont Bank, which, as you know by now, it's my bank, and it has been for more than 6 years. And I love this bank because it's a family-owned bank with the family-owned feel. They started back in 1964, and when they did that, it was just one branch, but now they have 21 branches. So if you go around in your Bay Area, you're going to find a Fremont Bank branch, and you're going to see it, and you're going to think, you know what? I want that full-service banking with no compromises, and you should. It's not a big box bank. It's a good local bank, and when you deposit your money with Fremont Bank, they reinvest it locally into businesses, philanthropy, home ownership, all the good stuff that makes our Bay Area the best area in all of the country. And that's why you should be a Fremont Bank customer. The money stays here. It's local. It's not a big box bank. It's a good, solid local bank. And we talk about Fremont Bank, and you know that they're here for you and here for good.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
Don't miss comedian Joe Coy on his Coy Meets World Tour at Oakland Arena on November 13th. Buy your tickets at joecoy.com for your chance to win your way into the show courtesy of Icon Live. Visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
No, Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter. I don't think he should be the starter. I think if you're going to go, give it to Fernando Mendoza and just let him have the whole year. But that's how they're going to work things, and that's how they're going to have it, and all of that is fine. It feels like a lot of these things are pretty obvious and maybe not as much of a competition as they want to make it out to be. And there's also, much like the guys who got into the Hall of Fame, obvious selections, much like the quarterback competitions, obvious selections. The fact that the Washington Commanders didn't make a move to bring in Brandon Ayuk, kind of an obvious conclusion. Wouldn't you say? Adam Schefter was speaking recently and said, hey, listen, there